Hello everybody, sorry about that, you can see me move now, great, good. Well, we didn't get off to a fantastic start there. I think it's because I had my OBS open ready to go for a little while today, so it just froze on that rather than refreshing. But I have learned from that now, and in future, even when OBS is ready to go, I'll close it before then starting stream. Thank you all so much for hopping back over from the original link. Well, anyway, I am Charlie Merriman, and I'm Merri by name, and I'm Merri by nature, and I could not be merrier to welcome you into today's stream. Very exciting indeed. Welcome in Devil Trigger, welcome at JoeUX9. Not frozen and frowning, I am now animated and animated. We can pretend it didn't happen. Exactly, Ellie. I don't know what JoeUX9's talking about. Damien, ready to rumble indeed. So everybody, if you don't know me, I am a host and commentator for the Pokemon Video Game Championship Series, but as we all know, Pokémon Legends ZA features a brand new battle system that works very differently from what we're used to in the competitive Pokemon video game space. And I haven't yet seen anyone online giving commentating of that a go. And I thought, well, I want to put my foot out there and say, yeah, let's have a cast of Pokemon Legends ZA. Very, very different tempo and style of battles, and I'll be explaining it to you all in a moment. Even if you're familiar with how the battles work in ZA, I'm sure there are all sorts of mechanics that you might not be so familiar with. So first we'll just walk through a game before I actually do some casting. I want to give a big shout out to JoeUX9, JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted for allowing me to use some of the footage they've been doing. Fantastic to see that they've been doing some competitive ZA content recently, and the idea initially was maybe seeing if we can get one of them on the stream live to cast over their games, but failing that, here we are casting over their VODs. And maybe we'll do some live casting or over live footage another time, but for now I'm just looking forward to getting this kicked off. Zed, indeed. I am Lord Zed. I love that. Not ZA, ZA, because I am from the UK. I think that's a British versus Americanism thing. Carnage even began before the battles, exactly, and the carnage is only going to ramp up now, Tony. Hello. Hello, Rich. Great to see you. Take two. Hello. Well, thank you so much, Jack. Your favourite casting your favourite video game. Well, kind words indeed. So, everybody, I think it's time for some casting. Happy Thursday to you all. I hope you've all had a fantastic day. Let's cast some Pokemon Legends ZA battles, shall we? Congratulations on reaching rank A, Damien. That's wonderful. And of course now, I need to relink the footage that I had going on here. Let's just, wait a second. We want this. Good. Oh, good. And it's all the dimensions that we had booted up before. Nice. I think what we'll do is just have some, we'll just have some music on in the background as well. I hadn't quite thought about that. But otherwise it'll be silent casting, and I don't think ZA suits a silent vibe. Is this what we need to do? Yeah, here we go. Just gonna boot some stream beats up to accompany. And then I will explain to you what's going on in these battles. So, is that going to work? Yes, it is. Good. Let me know if, as the course of the stream goes on, let me know if I need to adjust the volume, but you can't hear anything right now. Okay, so, got the Spotify ready to go, and maybe I will just have that playing under this first bit. Great. So, what we have booted up here is JoeUX9's latest video, which is called Mega Delphox is Amazing in Pokemon Legends ZA Ranked Battles. And I will be just talking you through for this first game, walking you through the things that are at play in the ranked battles, because it's very different from VGC. The famous one-liner, ZA. Very good. If you mean the purebred, Tony, then there you go. So, in competitive Pokemon VGC that I'm used to casting, and maybe you're used to seeing from my EUIC video that I dropped on Friday, I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever, going through the caster's perspective of that and breaking down VGC for anyone who doesn't know how the game works and how I utilize my drama school training to commentate. If you're familiar with that, these battles are going to work very differently. So in the normal VGC that Europe International Championships video was on, you have 2 players, they send out 2 Pokemon against each other, and the first to claim to knock out all of the opposing Pokemon wins. And crucially in that, you take turns. So you lock in your moves, you watch the turn play out, you lock in your next set of moves, you watch the turn play out. This is real time, there's no turn taking. It's all in a free-for-all, essentially, and it's 4 players on the field at once, and the Pokemon are all going after each other at the same time. It'll make more sense when we dive in, so I'm going to press play on this video, and I'll talk you through how it works. And I will catch up on the chat when I can, everybody, but obviously I'm going to have to split my attention a little bit between the chat and casting. Oh, thank you so much for watching. Glad you've been enjoying it, Jack, and good luck with your battles. Overpay, exactly. Lever and that, and Lil, it was so funny. So, my screen is covering up Joe's face cam, by the way, on this stream. But thank you again to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted. So Joe has sent out Xerneas here in Ranked Season 2. You can run Xerneas Real Tile, or indeed Mega Delphox. So here, this is what I mean. We've got a real-time battle going on here. So what Joe did there was switch out the Xerneas and switched in Excadrill because Metagross was about to hit it with a super effective hit. Now I've got Glaceon here as well, and now switch back in Xerneas. But you can only switch in and out your Pokemon a maximum of 3 times. But then once all of your Pokemon are knocked out, you start afresh, there's a sort of timeout, you start afresh, and then that counter resets. And look in the bottom right, you've got your 4 moves there, and they correspond to the Y, X, B, and A buttons on your Switch or Switch 2 controller. And the moves work differently in this game as well. So something like Thunderbolt and Moonblast, they are longer range attacks, or particularly Moonblast, longer range attacks, so you can fire them from a way off and stay out of harm's way. But like Ironhead here, you have to get a little bit close and personal with the opponent for that to connect. And then, of course, you've got the option of going for Mega Evolution as well, and you can pick up those glowing orbs on the ground to be able to Mega Evolve when you so choose. And Mega Evolving grants you a little moment of invulnerability, so using that just when an attack is coming into your Pokemon is absolutely the way to go. Now that Ampharos there, you might be wondering what those squares are. Those are the screens, so we have Reflect and Light Screen in VGC. We also have them in Pokémon Legends ZA. And the way it works is Ampharos could switch out into another Pokemon and it would still have those screens up. It's obviously for a limited time. But there you go. And some Pokemon look bigger than they ordinarily would because some Pokemon are alphas, which in the game are just bigger versions, with potentially different moves as well to the regular versions of the Pokemon. Each move that you lock into has a cooldown time. So just there we saw the move Drill Run fill back up. You use a move and then you can't use it again immediately, which is something I love about this game because it encourages you to use your entire moveset. It encourages you, for example, to set up and then go for a move. Weave in a quicker attack. You know, you could go for Liquidation with Feraligatr, but then Aqua Jet whilst that's recharging in order to snipe off and cause the KO here. Now, you just saw there, 1 minute remaining. The battles in Pokémon Legends ZA, they are 3 minutes total. And the winner is whoever claims the most KOs. And as you can see, we've got 4 players on the field here, blue, red, green, and purple. Whoever claims the most KOs in that time, and Joe is on course to win this one with 5, will win the battle. So you also obviously want to protect your own Pokemon from being KO'd, because then it will count as a win in your opponent's favor. Switching at the right time is obviously crucial here too. A Pokemon's speed stat works a bit differently in this game. It's how quickly they execute a move, rather than necessarily how fast they move around the map. And that means you can weave in moves more quickly than you might ordinarily be able to. There's no PP in this game, so it's not like you're limited to using a move a certain number of times, but again, it is the cooldown, so you can't use it twice immediately in a row, say. Also, Protect seems to be a bit less common. You saw just there, Joe picked up a glowing green thing. There are some spinning glowing things that appear in the battle map. And they all have a different effect. So green restores the HP of all your Pokemon, red boosts the attack of all your Pokemon for a short while, and blue boosts the defense of all your Pokemon for a short while. So those little extra power-ups as well there. And otherwise, Have I covered most of the things there are to say there? Yeah. They've got the status conditions as well. So poison, just like in the main games, will chip away at your health over time. Toxic poison, bad poison, that damage will increase over time, so exponentially more. Burn will also chip away at you, but a bit less than poison, but also mean that your physical moves aren't hitting as hard. Paralysis just means that your Pokemon will be moving more slowly, so it might not be able to get out of the way of attacks as quickly. Sleep or drowsiness in this game means that, I believe it means that your cooldown time is longer, so you can't execute moves as quickly. And then the final one, freeze, just means that you can't do anything for a short amount of time. So you might want to switch out and switch another Pokemon in that scenario. The freeze is the most scary of all of them to be on the receiving end of. Anything else I need to explain before we dive into some casting? I don't think so. I think we'll be able to clear up other things as they come up. Not Joe's a great 10 out of 10. I'm very pleased you enjoy them, Jack. Hotbine, great to see you. How are you doing? Thank you so much for hopping into the stream. Biggest tournament of all time twice now, because past two UICs have claimed that title. Oh, interesting. Well, the first was hosting, but thank you so much for that, Jack. That's a lovely little stat to have. Big Kirk, Little Kirk. I guess so. Red means having an attack boost, blue is defense, and green heals the Pokemon. Exactly that. Plus moves. Tony, thank you very much. Plus moves. So, there are these things called plus moves in Pokémon Legends ZA battles. And they will deal a bit more damage than usual. I also think that it's harder to protect against plus moves in the ZA rank battles. So, when your Mega Evolution meter is filling up, if you press the plus button, then you can access a plus move, and it will deal more damage at the expense of some of that Mega Evolution energy. When a Pokemon is Mega Evolved, all of its moves become plus moves, I believe. I'm not sure how that works with TM moves, actually. But normally, a move that you teach by TM, rather than a move the Pokemon naturally learns via level up, cannot be a plus move, but there are ways in game with the Seed of Mastery, it's cool to be able to make it a plus move. And as I say, yeah, I alluded to this before, protect and detect are less common, but you still sometimes see them, just because you can run away and get out of harm's way of an attack. In terms of stat boosting moves, whereas in VGC, for example, Nasty Plot would boost your special attack by 2 stages. We have a maximum of 6 stages of boosts or drops. In this game, there's only the 1 stage that you can rise to. A normal boost will give you, a move like, say, Hone Claws would be, I don't even know if it's in this game, but it would boost your attack for a short amount of time, whereas Swords Dance, which in VGC would boost your attack by 2 stages, will boost your attack for a longer amount of time. So it's to do with duration rather than the stages. And otherwise, there might be more, but I think those are the key things. So I think we're probably just about ready to dive into doing some casting. A lot to get your head around, yes, but hopefully I'll be able to translate it for you all. Indeed. Exactly, Joe, and the Seed of Mastery. Now, I did debate, of course, in VGC normally there are 2 casters. In order to bounce off each other, and you'll have the play-by-play and they'll have the analysis. If you want to hear more about how casting works, then you can watch my I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever video, which I dropped on Friday. Very excited about that. I decided to just have me casting tonight, first of all, and first and foremost, really, just to save on the extra headache of sorting out schedules with another person. But also, as you saw, ranked battles in Pokémon Legends ZA are only 3 minutes long. So I don't know how much bouncing we'd be able to do. They're very fast paced, so it's just going to be all in for 3 minutes of high octane action. I'm sure that ultimately, having another person to bounce off is the way that casting this game would go. But it's my first ever time doing this. As I say, it's the first ever time I've seen anyone do this. So I just wanted to wrap my head around it first. And a massive shout out again to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted for lending me their footage to use to cast over in this stream. People can use Mega Evolution to dodge moves. I did mention that. Hello, Jay. Welcome. I hope you enjoy some Legends ZA casting. Holding Berry to reduce damage will be back on your Pokemon after death and respawn, but Knock will remove them entirely. That's true, yes. That's another thing that we have all learned, yes. Super effective reducing moves like I don't know, Whack-A Berry on your Gyarados to reduce the damage of electric type moves. If it's consumed, when you respawn, if your Pokemon get knocked out, then the berry will respawn. But if you get targeted by knockoff and the berry is knocked off, then the berry will not respawn with you. If you have one of your Pokemon knocked out, then you'll time out and then you'll respawn, and then that counter of how many times you're able to switch Pokemon in and out again will reset too. I think that's enough talk because it's going to make so much more sense when we actually dive into the battles. It's still going to be chaotic, it's still going to be high octane, but we'll be able to break it all down afterwards as well. Yes, thank you very much again. Thank you, Tony, for shouting out a second time. Kudos to Joe and to Marcos. Okay, let's queue up a battle here. And before we press play, as you can see, Joe is using Xerneas and Delphox and Excadrill on their team. Let me know if the music is too loud, or if it's too quiet, or if it's just right to be able to hear the casting over these games. So, first of all, before we dive into the cast, now we just break down this team a little bit. Ranked Season 2 that we're in now started on November the 6th. Obviously following on from Season 1 that was out for the first 2 or 3 weeks that the game was out. Ranked Season 2 introduced Xerneas and Yveltal into the game, as well, of course, as Mega Delphox, because the Delphoxite, the stone that you need to Mega Evolve Delphox, became available in Ranked Season 2 as a reward. So make sure you're claiming that if you haven't already, everybody, because we don't know if we'll be able to access it again. Xerneas is obviously fantastic. It's a legendary Pokemon, so why wouldn't it be? Yveltal takes super effective from fairy type moves, and Xerneas, of course, is a fairy type Pokemon. And Xerneas resists Yveltal's dark type moves, being a fairy Pokemon. So Xerneas just seems to be the stronger pick, but there are reasons why it runs Yveltal, and maybe we'll get into that over the course of the stream. But if Xerneas is more popular, then your fire types are going to be more popular, and ground types, because they can deal with the steel types that threaten Xerneas for super effective damage. So the Delphox here and the Excadrill are going to be great for threatening down the Mawwiles and the Skarmories and the Metagrosses that all threaten Xerneas with super effective. That's obviously just a few examples of Pokemon that can threaten with super effective, particularly threaten with super effective steel type moves. And so that's what Joe's going for here. Xerneas been a couple of Xerneas counters to be able to get around that. But also I'm wondering how Joe's going to deal with the opposing Yveltals, but Excadrill also gets access to Rock Slide. There are moves in Legends ZA rank battles that sort of close the distance quickly between you and certain Pokemon. Like Drill Run, for example. There are moves that grant you a little bit of invulnerability, like Phantom Force, disappearing, and they also home in on the target. Bounce is another, Fly is another, Dig is another. So utilizing those to the best of the advantage. And yeah, I think we'll see the rest when we dive into the battle. So this is a nice core here. Obviously, struggles a little bit against water-type Pokemon, but I wouldn't be surprised if Xerneas is running Thunderbolt as a result of that. That is a tech move that we commonly see on Xerneas. Without further ado, I think we will dive into some casting. I'll clear up anything else that comes up after that cast. So, let's get ready. And I'll introduce it as if we were doing this on broadcast for Pokemon. So let's dive into our first cast. I was doing some practice earlier, but first cast on stream of Pokémon Legends ZA. And in 3, 2, 1. Welcome in, Pokemon trainers, to the Pokemon Legends ZA Battle Royale. I am Charlie Merriman. I'm Merri by name, Merri by nature, and we're going to be featuring JoeUX9, Joseph Ugarte, a prominent VGC player, rocking this Xerneas, Delphox, and Excadrill team. Let's see what opponents they'll be going up against. Of course, 4 people battling each other at once in Pokemon Legends ZA in these real-time battles, a big departure from Pokemon VGC. So let's bring that high-octane energy. Let's see what these trainers will be leading. Let's see who gets the advantage. Let's see who claims the most KOs at once. Xerneas immediately out on the field for Joe, stepping on the gas with the super effective damage. This Machamp is looking really threatened here by the big fairy-type moves. There's Geomancy that Joe can lock into here as well, but a really good switch by the opponent. Gengar, no longer a fighting type, of course, but it's going to go down to that Delphox move there. And the Nasty Plot boosting up Delphox's stats here. having received a big Shadow Ball from Glaceon, but it takes it pretty handily here. Lovely to see the shiny variant too, but with the boost, the Moonblast targeted down into the Delphox that had just switched out, but now the switch that Joe has made means that Gardevoir can get nice and set up with a Calm Mind. The Psychic going straight into that Beedrill for the big KO, and Joe claims their first KO as well, the red player with the most KOs to boot. Excadrill trying to target down that Gardevoir, but switched into the Ampharos and then became a Gyarados, and the Excadrill threatened with super effective damage, but Joe switching back into the Xerneas here. Machamp is running around, but now this Gyarados has become Mega. It doesn't want to take a bounce. The Earthquake unfortunately going for nothing there, and the Gyarados claiming the KO. Xerneas with the boost, trying to target this Moonblast into the Gyarados, super effective, and it does get there. The long range attack really paying dividends here. Now the Mega Delphox has hit the field. It's got a big boost to its special attack, and it's going to be enough to secure the KO onto that big legendary Delphox. Gengar wandering around the field with its trainer, trying to claim the advantage here. Joe currently in second position, having claimed 2 KOs, the leader with the 4. Gengar has this boost to its attacks. There are no abilities in Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles, so this Excadrill can definitely claim the KO. There's no Levitate, not that there would be in VGC either, but sometimes we see it in older games. It's able to get the KO onto the Ampharos. It's threatening super effective into the Mega Delphox here, and there's the Gyarados ready to give big super effective damage right into the Excadrill. It's gone for its own Mega Evolution. The Rock Slide now no longer super effective. It's just neutral damage into that Gyarados. Joe unfortunately has a KO claimed against them, but not before. They are at 5 KOs here. Now tying, not anymore. Going to be the Red Trainer, who has just exceeded Joe there with the 1 more KO. Delphox is able to set up another stat boosting move here. It's going to be hitting harder. It's going to be taking hits better. The Thunderbolt directed into that slot just as it goes for its Mega, meaning that it's invulnerable. Xerneas taking a big gunshot there, but it's able to hang on as we switch into the Excadrill, and the Drill Run is not enough to secure the KO onto the Delphox there. And it responds with the KO from Heat Wave as well. It's KOs left, right, and center here. Is it going to be the Blue Trainer Joe, or is it going to be the Red Trainer? It's 30 seconds remaining to see who will be winning in this ZA Battle Royale. Thunder Punch attempted down into the Gyarados, but not before the Gardevoir can pick up the KO here. Now another Heat Wave targeted right into this Gardevoir. Joe now on 8 KOs, looking in a really prime position, and only about 10 seconds left for Joe to maintain that position. And Beedrill does not want to see the Delphox that Joe has freshly switched in here. 2, 1... And that's going to be it. That's going to be the first battle in this Royale, and it looks like Joe did enough there to be able to claim the victory in the Pokemon Legends ZA Ranked Battle Royale. But the Red Trainer just behind with 8 KOs. My goodness gracious me, how high octane was that? Just goes to show the power of switching your Pokemon in at the right time. Yes, you only have access to 3 switches that you can do before you get wiped out and they get refreshed, but if they're there, so use them. You know, if Joe had stayed in taking big super effective damage, that wouldn't have been the call. Equally, it's all about Mega Evolving your Pokemon at the right time. If Gyarados hadn't Mega Evolved in the face of the Rock Slide that would have come into that slot, then it would have taken super effective damage. It could have been down and out as well. Picking up those boosts around the map obviously certainly helped here. The Delphox is a bit of a glass cannon, but being able to maximize its attack even further meant that it could KO things before it was threatened itself. Masterful switching around by Joe here, and Xerneas showing that, you know, even though it's such a powerful legendary Pokemon, it's not without its answers. There are all sorts of steel types, and not only that, but just neutral damage, especially with a boost with a Calm Mind, for example, that can really sweep through Pokemon like Xerneas, and indeed the same can be said for Yveltal as well. So massive congratulations to Joe there. Let's see how this progresses over the course of another Battle Royale. And see. So that's going to be the first cast that we've done of Pokemon Legends ZA. I think that went pretty well overall. As you can see, there's not much time to think. There's not much time to catch your breath while casting a game like that. But I love that that's a departure from VGC in itself. And yes, that is something else that I didn't talk about in the little intro. There are no abilities in this game. So if you're familiar with VGC and abilities having an impact on how battles work, like Intimidate from Gyarados, for example, that's not going to happen in this game. The abilities are removed, and to be honest, I mean, if the abilities were there, there'd be even more balls to juggle, so I think it makes sense that abilities aren't here. It means that the battles can be even faster paced. You're so ready for this area? Well, I hope you very much enjoyed that cast. Full split screen casting would be awesome. Yes, that's another thing I was going to say. in casting this, of course, I'm kind of limited to casting from one player's perspective. But if this were... Sorry, I'm just gonna... I need to make sure I'm not talking that fast the whole time. Otherwise, you know, I'll be exhausted. Even more exhausted by the end of the stream, so I'll just dial back on the energy a bit. If this were to become a thing that was casted regularly, then I think a four-way split screen is definitely the way to go. And then it's easier to, you know, focus on how other trainers are doing. And that's also where another caster would come in clutch. You know, I could take on two of the screens, the other caster could take on the other two, and then we could bounce between us. And then it would be really cool to see how those merge together. You know, how the storylines in each split screen starts to merge together over the course of the battle. But I think for now, probably one perspective, one caster for one perspective is the way to go. Inevitably, it's going to lead to a little bit of sort of bias and hero building of the one perspective that we can see. But I think that's just the way it goes. I'll try and give as balanced a view as possible of all four players. But of course, if we're focused on one perspective, then oftentimes we won't be able to see the other three, or at least other two Pokemon on the screen, because they'll be off running around attacking each other, and those will just be totally off screen. So fun to commentate, awesome to watch. I'm very pleased you thought so, Nido, and thank you so much again for being a loyal Merri member. Thank you so much for your support of the channel. Yeah, I'm glad you found it fun to watch. You know now the best item of casters for these casts, throat spray. Yeah, for sure. World's first ZA cast, and it felt so good. Well, thank you, Roland. Represent ZA is a mix of Go, Battle, League, and VGC. 3 Pokemon each, quick battles, no abilities, but with set up moves and status effects. Yeah, I guess so, Ariel. I guess so, and there's definitely some elements of Pokemon Unite in there as well. It'd be really cool to see this battle system in Legends ZA become a staple in competitive Pokemon events, but who knows? Or maybe it's going to be used for Generation 10. I don't know. But anyway, I was pretty pleased with how that went. I'd be intrigued to hear your feedback as well, whether, you know, that was a good level of energy, what else you would have liked to have seen, because I'm all about improvement, those micro improvements along the way that ultimately mean we improve a lot at the end. And also let me know about the levels. Was I too loud? Do I need to move my microphone a little bit away from me? Yeah, let me know. Definitely a lot to take in. Commentary makes it a lot more fun to watch. Okay, I'm glad, Ellie. Yeah, it's all so fast-paced that it kind of has to be a bit of a barrage of information. It is a lot to take in, but I hope as we do more, it's easier to absorb. It's easier to be absorbed. Not really watched any other esports to be commentated on, but since so fast-paced, you can imagine it's not very easy. Yeah, just even more so for sure. I guess no. I guess it's not very easy. It's just a different style, I guess, that we need to get used to. So that was our first cast. Now let's see what Joe's going to go up against in the next battle. I'll hydrate. You stay hydrated, everybody. Alrighty. So we'll jump forward a little bit. Search your opposing trainers. Alright. We'll get into our next cast. We'll let this play, and then we'll get into our next cast very shortly. I did some of my own ranked battles yesterday on stream. Do check that out if you'd be interested, everybody. It's my first time. We reached rank C. I got up to rank C off stream, actually. But now it looks like Joe has found another round of battles. Talking solidly for 3 minutes, it actually does make it go a bit slower because there's always so much to talk about. Okay. And let's go. Welcome to another Pokémon Legends ZA ranked battle, everybody. With me, Charlie Merriman. I'm Merri by name, Merri by nature, and I couldn't be married. See Xerneas on screen, one of the premier threats in ranked battles Season 2. There's a Delphox staring it down across the field, and here comes a Lucario, that is, running alongside it as well. Xerneas doesn't love to see a Lucario, but can it set up this Geomancy in time to be able to sweep through before the Xerneas can threaten it back? The Abomasnow attempting getting some damage down onto that Xerneas here. Joe utilizing that long-range Moonblast to be able to get some good damage down on the opponent, and another one onto the Manectric here as well. But Delphox takes it pretty handily. You can see the Geomancy boost paying dividends for this Xerneas, taking the Delphox's attack, as now it sets up yet another Calm Mind when on such low HP as well. Really bold call there. Joe having switched into the Delphox, and it's in a great position against this Emboar, except it's got the head smash move. Going to be very super effective against the Delphox, and means that it's going to go down in one. Meanwhile, the Emboar hangs on with just a sliver against the Metagross here. We've got the red trainer doing very well, and Joe and the purple trainer tied for 2 KOs each. The drill run, but The opponent using that Mega Evolution button so well in terms of its timing that Metagross will be invulnerable from any incoming damage just as the Excadrill was targeting it down. And the Drill Run now going down into the Emble, but again using that Mega Evolution so fantastically in terms of its timing, and Emble with its staff. You love to see it there as Joe has to take that little bit of a time out here. Now, Delphox is out on the field. If Joe can sneak up and get the KO on this Emble before it can get a head smash into that slot, which he can, that's absolutely huge for Joe. Yet another KO. It's going to be the purple trainer out in the lead, though, in terms of his KOs. This Lucario does not like to stare down a Delphox here. Super effective fire damage coming its way. This trainer surely will be switching out in the nick of time. Now, time to Mega Evolve for Joe's Delphox, but Garchomp is ready to threaten a big super effective Earthquake onto it, but not before a Psychic goes down and a Swords Dance here. But is it going to be too little too late? Is it going to be too greedy as Joe switches in their own Excadrill now? Earthquake, super effective, and the Delphox is just going to fall foul of it, but Emble will be responding with the Flare Blitz, getting rid of that Excadrill, and a Bomb Snow down as well. 9 wins from the purple trainer, Sarah Ketchum. I've hardly ever seen so many wins, but now we've got an Emble and Excadrill and a little playpen together, or something a little bit more intense than that. Can the Excadrill get the KO on the Delphox before it can strike with a super effective fire move? Yes, it certainly can. And now, the Mega Excadrill ready to threaten this Emble as well. And another KO. Joe is really creeping up the ranks here with 8 KOs. Again, the purple trainer on 9. It's going to be so close as to who's going to be winning here. We're coming down to the final 15 seconds. This attack boost that Joe has just picked up could be massive, could be the decider. And there it is, 10 KOs. Joe currently in the lead. Can it be another? Onto this Garchomp. Excadrill hangs on through the Earthquake. It's going to come down to such fine margins. The switch out, though. The Emble is going to go down, but as the timer has been wrapped up. So, oh my goodness me. Joe was not taking any prisoners in that game. Wow. Just going for KO after KO. Seeing that the purple trainer had so many KOs to their name, but saying, you know what, I can rise to the occasion as well. Yes, you have threats against my Excadrill. Yes, you threaten me with super effective fire and fighting type damage with your Mega Emble, or super effective fire damage with the opposing Delphox. But Excadrill timing the Mega Evolution at exactly the right time to take advantage of that, let's call it, invulnerable Mega Evolution egg for a little while, meant that Excadrill was eventually able to come out on top. And Joe, with the 10 wins there, you can see, has just about secured the victory. Saya Ketchum rather than Sarah Ketchum. I misread that because the chat was in the way. But Saya, huge shout out to Saya there because, of course, 9 wins and was in the lead for such a long time. Cannot be denied that achievement. And again, we actually didn't see Xerneas take the field too many times. Trainers have been teching for Xerneas in Season 2 of these ranked battles. It means that Xerneas has so many threats to worry about that it's probably just not going to be on the field for that long a time. And Joe recognizing that it wasn't the time to lean into the all-powerful Geomancy move. And scene. Time to hydrate. Let me catch up on the chat. Seeing people do this in singles 6v6. Oh my goodness, anime battles, yeah, for sure. Hail hydrate indeed. You will stay hydrated now. Don't expect it to mainstream. Champions coming soon. Yep, that'll be used for Worlds, but hey, listen. Maybe people are going to want to compete with if this is used in Generation 10. Or maybe on ZA as well. Comeback Kid Joe, indeed. Marnie, great to see you. I hope you enjoy some Pokemon Legends ZA casting. Let me know any feedback you have on the cast I've done so far, everybody. I'm pleased with how they're going. There's always so much to take into account. And definitely, this is where the benefit of having more than one person casting comes in, because sometimes you don't just want to fill time with endless chatter. You want to say something that's relevant. At the same time, there's so much going on, and you want to keep the energy up, and your eyes don't quite know where to focus next. So I'm going to try and keep everything I'm saying as relevant as I possibly can. There's not much time also in game to talk about, the stats of the Pokemon and how the speed stats compare against each other, and therefore how the charge up time can be reduced, etc. But I'll endeavour to do that as well. But yeah, I was pleased with how that went, and seen indeed. So I'm commentating over some pre-recorded Pokemon Legends ZA battles, and shout out to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted again for providing me with footage. And don't forget to breathe. Exactly. So much to bear in mind. What notes do I have for myself from that? I think that was decent, you know, for now, as we get used to how these battles work, and given it's just me, it's just one of me doing the casting, so let's queue up another. Okay. I'm going to hydrate again. Take a couple of breaths. All right, let's do another. Something that, actually, before we start the next one, remember to do some warm-ups, everybody. Remember to do some warm-ups. It's something I didn't have time to do enough of before coming on stream. But just to run through a couple of the ones I went through in my EUIC video, I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever. Sirening. So on an sound, you go up and down your range. And that wakes up the entire vocal range, so we can access the higher pitch as well as the lower pitch, because in the intensity of a battle we want to be able to vary how we sound. Tongue twisters. I commentate competitive Pokemon professionally. 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 For example, Terrastella Celesteela, Terrastella Celesteela, Terrastella Celesteela, Terrastella Celesteela. So that we can talk fast in the heat of the battle. What else can we do? Lip trills. Tongue rolls as well. Tongue rolls can be painful when you first do them, but I've been doing tongue rolls most days for many years now, so my tongue is able to be limbered up pretty quickly, and I went sort of clockwise 8 times, anti-clockwise 8 times, then 4, then 4. The full would be 8, 8, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 1, and then 8, 8 again. That's just a little warm-up for you. On its side and upside down. Now you get the face trap as well. Imagine you're chewing some really sticky gum. Again, this helps us be energetic and in the heat of the moment. And yeah, I think that'll do for now. Let's dive into some more casting. And Marnie, I'm commentating over Pokemon Legends at A rank battles, which I've never seen anyone else do. So yeah, 3-minute thrillers, and they're high octane, and it's a lot of fun. We'll queue up another now and you'll be able to see. Alrighty then. And welcome in, trainers, to a different map here. We've got this pond in the middle. Which Pokemon will be going swimmingly here as Xerneas hits the field for Joe, channeling all the life force of Lumio City. Now, what Pokemon will Joe's opponents be running? We've got a couple of Xerneas, couple more Xerneas on the field now, and a Garchomp, but switching immediately into the Gyarados here. Waterfall. The Thunderbolt not enough to claim the KO, clearly been trained in order to take that hit, and Joe claims an immediate advantage here. It's 3 Xerneas on the field right now. It's hard to outrun a Moonblast, but it's certainly going for it, and one of these Xerneas going for the screen strategy, so getting set up, meaning that it's got more bulk on the field to be able to take more hits, as another Moonblast targets down into that slot. The attempted Thunderbolt, but Joe able to switch into the Excadrill here, which is of course immune. The Focus Blast though, a lovely tech move we've been seeing rising in usage on Xerneas, super effective against Excadrill, and it's going to be enough for the big one-hit KO here. Joe on 1 win. The purple trainer is going to be on 2. Now, Excadrill, how much is it going to be able to achieve with this Iron Head? Xerneas is able to gallop out the way before that comes into contention. The Moonblast connecting onto the Garchomp. Another Earthquake here. Super effective onto the Excadrill. Gyarados comes out once more. Of course, immune to any Earthquakes. And Kangaskhan is here as well. Now, This Xerneas is running rampant as Joe has the Mega Evolution meter fill, but will they be going for it in the face of this Chandelure? Shadow Ball, the Delphox hates to see it, but able to take it thanks to a Calm Mind boost, and that's going to be the Kangaskhan with a boost to its attack here as well, wanting to run rampant against this Mega Garchomp. Joe timed out and now able to switch something in as we are about halfway through this Battle Royale. Xerneas once more galloping along, but here's a Metagross, which Xerneas hates to see, even less so on Mega Metagross. Absolute beast when it comes to its attack and its defensive stats. But Joe is staying firm, holding this Xerneas in here, able to snipe the KO onto the Skarmory before the Metagross is able to get to it. A Geomancy, but the Mega Metagross is threatening this down so much with a Heavy Slam. Xerneas is able to take the hit though, and the Thunder Punch just able to secure the knockout there. No Excadrill switch for Joe, and that's going to be another KO, granting a win over to the Purple Trainer, who has 5 KOs now to their name, 1 minute remaining, and Joe looking to be able to claim at least 2 or 3 more to be able to be out in front. The Drill Run, able to just claim the KO on Joe's Pokemon here. Skarmory, Mega Skarmory at that, has been putting in so much work. It's so good against Xerneas, which has been really prevalent in the metagame here. Heat Wave now from Joe's Delphox, able to secure the KO onto that Skarmory, but now it's got this Mega Chandelure to deal with. The Chandelure able to set up with a Calm Mind, and of course it can threaten super effective Ghost-type damage down into this Delphox from range as well, but the Delphox is able to take it, respond with the Shadow Ball, but the Chandelure hanging on now with Justice Liver. The Overheat though, just enough to secure the KO. Chandelure wants to get out of harm's way now though, it's on such low HP, but fortunately for that trainer, picking up that green, able to restore some of the HP. Now the Drill Run, Joe able to claim that KO onto the Kangaskhan, but the extra drill goes down as well. Sometimes that's just how you have to play it, trainers. You claim a KO, but you receive a KO. 5 seconds remaining, 4, 3, 2, 1, and no last minute KOs it looks like there. And that's going to be the end of the Battle Royale. Well, huge congratulations to all of our trainers there. The energy, the high octane could not be higher, and unfortunately Joe isn't going to be claiming the win there. It is instead going to be the Purple Trainer, Joe finishing in 3rd. And yeah, the Mega Chandelure, you could see how much work it was putting in, as Delphox is rising up in the ranks of the Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. Seeing Chandelure with its Ghost-type moves means that it's able to snipe it off. The problem with Chandelure, though, is it's a pretty slow Pokemon. It's going to take a little while to get those moves to be executed, and that gives Delphox potentially the time to weave in a Shadow Ball of its own to claim the KO onto that Chandelure. It's fascinating to see the Kangaskhan there. Mega Kangaskhan was so prevalent in any VGC regulation where it was available, able to hit twice in one turn thanks to the baby Kangaskhan hopping out of the pouch. Shout out to the little Kangaskhan plush I got behind me there as well. And normal types are in a really interesting place in the format right now. It's just reliable big damage, but as long as Xerneas is running tech moves like Focus Blast, that fighting type coverage to be able to KO normal types, maybe the normal types aren't in the best of positions themselves. So we'll have to see how Kangaskhan continues to develop in the ranked Season 2 metagame. But huge congratulations to the Purple Trainer there, and we'll queue up another battle very shortly. And scene. So that's 3 battles casted now of the ZA Battle Royale. Let me catch up on the chat. Do this again with either Ben or Lee. Yeah! I don't know if Ben's been playing ZA. I know that Lee's very busy with videos, but it would be cool to do some casting with a co-caster. Pokemon Tongue Twisters. Superstar Stella sends out Staravia. Superstar Stella very good. Superstar Stella sends out Staravia. 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 Not bad, not bad. Glad you enjoyed the insight on the prep, Tony. You can see more of how I prep for these events and casting in my I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever video, and now on my channel. Commentating the Europe International Championship. So interesting you mentioning this in the video last Friday. I had no idea so much went into commentating. Yeah, for sure. Well, they're very long, intense days. I mean, a day of casting can be, 10-ish hours, 8 to 10 hours. And so you've got to make sure you're fighting fit and voices on top of things the whole way through, and do little top-up warm-ups over the course of it as well. Try and make a good news reporter. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's very kind of you. That would certainly be a lot of fun. I think, I was pleased with the insight of things I said there. I think it's also a question of, finding in time to be able to weave in, like the little intel I gave you at the end there about Chandelure having a slower speed stat, so it takes longer to execute moves, because that's how speed stats work in the Legends ZA battles. It's how quickly or not you execute your moves. So weaving in things like that over the course of it will be good too, but again, I am only one person. I'm doing my best here, but yeah, so I'll think about that. But yeah, I was relatively pleased with that. Relatively pleased. Oh, with Dunk Twister, you wouldn't stand a chance. Well, you can give it a go, Rich. You can give it a go. Format feels like what you would love to cast, and this is inspiring to see. Keep up the great work, Charlie, and hopefully we see this become an official format. Well, thank you so much, King Nado. I hope so as well. It'll be a lot of fun. I think ZA battles are a lot of fun. As I say, I did some more off stream yesterday after I was streaming ranked battles, and they are very Moorish. They're so quick and easy. It's just like, oh, I'll just do one more. Just do one more. I think it's really good. This is a way you could help in the battles. Maybe battle warm-up could be your job. Maybe money. Maybe. But nice. Well, very good. Why don't we... Let's have one more from Joe, and then we'll switch over to Moxie Boosted, who's running a different team that features Mega Burnett. But yeah, let's queue up another battle here. A little top-up warm-up. Okay. Let's do some more casting of Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. Please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying this, everybody. As I say, I haven't seen anyone else cast Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. And so it feels nice to blaze that trail, you know, and I'm having fun doing it. And if you're enjoying watching it, if you want me to do more, please do drop a like. It would mean a huge amount, and show me that you're enjoying this. And also, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I'm a caster. I do lots of videos about casting and plenty more. Check out my podcast as well, where I interview people in the community and discover about their life story and discover the 6 Pokemon they choose for their dream team, Chazingdra chat. So I'm at Chazingdra across all socials. Okay. Alrighty. This will be the last battle that we cast from Joe. A shout out again to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted for allowing me to use their footage to cast over for this stream. Let's have a good one. Alright trainers, let's queue up another ranked battle here in Pokemon Legends ZA, and we're going to be battling outside the Quasar-to-Go building. Are their motives suspicious or not? Well, for now, all that is put to one side. We're all friendly rivals here, seeing who can win this battle royale in Pokemon Legends ZA. Xerneas has hit the field for Joe, staring down at Xerneas, and there's a Xerneas to the right. Everyone trying to go all in on the Generation 6 legendary Pokemon. Do we have 4 Xerneas here? Can't quite tell as of yet. Going to be an Excadrill, I think, joining the fray. Yeah, there's the Excadrill there, which is going to feast on these Xerneas unless the Xerneas can claim the KO first. Of course, Focus Blast is a tech move we see a lot to be able to deal with someone like Excadrill. Joe's doesn't have access to it. The Metal Claw is super effective, but unfortunately, all the Xerneas piling in on that Excadrill. 3 Xerneas better than the 1 Excadrill, even though it threatens with super effective. And Joe is adamant on staying in here with the Xerneas. It's not a terrible matchup, but now Joe switched in fact, to the Excadrill. Ironhead attempted to get some big damage onto that Xerneas here. Drill Run covering that nice distance, and now the opponent going for the Mega on their Excadrill, trying to feast off these Xerneas, and unfortunately Joe's is caught in that radius, going to be KO'd here. Joe yet to score any KOs. The purple trainer is on 2 here, and Glaceon has switched in as well. Big ice type damage. Glaceon is really popular right now in the Season 2 metagame. Joe has gone all in, Megaing their Excadrill. It's creeping up on this Xerneas. Is it going to be able to get the KO here? No, the trainer will be switching into the Garchomp. Really well timed by them as the Mega meter runs out. And another really well timed Mega Evolution there from the Garchomp. Dig, a homing move. Joe switching out into the Xerneas. The hand forced. You can only switch a maximum of 3 times during one ZA Battle Royale. Xerneas with a defense boost here, charging down this Mega Garchomp, but it's got the Ironhead to be able to deal with fairies. The Moonblast though brings it down solo. It's going to need another one. The Psychic not going to be enough here. Who will claim the KO onto this Mega Garchomp? The Dig attempted, but the Garchomp will be KO'd. Now Xerneas gallops towards this Excadrill and indeed the Chandelure. Chandelure versus the Xerneas as Joe switches into their own Mega Excadrill once more. Chandelure would have been super effective damage, but now the Drill Run super effective right back, and Joe claims their first KO. first victory here in the Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. Mega Excadrill versus Mega Excadrill. They both threaten each other with super effective ground-type damage. 1 minute remaining, trainers, as Mega Garchomp now hits the field as well. Is able to weave in a Swords Dance. It's not too threatened right now by these Excadrills, but the same cannot be said for the Excadrills. Gonna be the Earthquake, super effective, KOing the other's Excadrill, but Joe switches into the Xerneas here, attempting that long-range Moonblast, but it's not going to be near enough to be able to deal damage onto the opposing Pokemon. Chandelure trying to run away, but it means that Joe can set up this Geomancy all the more freely and pick up that health boost. So it's now got a boost to its attack, a boost to its health. Can Xerneas get something done against this Excadrill now? As the Heat Wave coming out from the Chandelure, Xerneas charging down, galloping after. The Thunderbolt brings it low, but it's not going to be enough onto the Chandelure. Moonblast, though, boosted by the Geomancy, just enough for the big one-hit KO onto the Garchomp here. Joe, however, unfortunately KO'd as well. Just 10 seconds left. It's going to be the purple and green trainers out in front. No, the red trainer is on 5 KOs. Can any of the other trainers balance the books? Yes, that's just going to be the green trainer weaving in another KO there from their Xerneas. Really, really masterfully played. The timing was excellent. Wow. Well, the battle of multiple Xerneas, the battle of multiple Excadrill there as well. And this is another reason why Excadrill is so good in the ranked Season 2 metagame, because of course they threaten each other with super effective damage. A part Steel type threatens Xerneas, but that means they take super effective damage from opposing Earthquakes, so that Excadrill can go for as well. The Garchomp, of course, also threatens with super effective damage, but Garchomp having been so prevalent in Season 1 of the ranked battles, unfortunately, Xerneas, newly available in Season 2, is just going to be able to feast off that Pokemon. And, of course, in the ranked battles, in order to execute any of your moves, whether they target another Pokemon or not, you have to be able to lock on to an opponent. And that includes something like Geomancy. You have to lock onto an opponent to be able to use that move. It means that trainers can't just hide in a corner, get set up, and then charge into the fray. You have to wade in a little bit, see a Pokemon in your sights, target it down, go for a Geomancy, and get boosted up that way. And that means that Xerneas is all the more vulnerable to something like an Iron Head. It's great to see the Chandelure come along as well, but Excadrill and Chandelure is a very volatile matchup into each other, isn't it? Because, of course, they threaten each other with that big, super effective damage. So, as you can see here, unfortunately, it's going to be Joe losing that one, and the other 3 trainers with 5 KOs each. Congratulations to everyone who took part. Going to be the 3-way tie for first place. And scene. Well, it's intense, isn't it? It's intense, but it's very exciting. Hope you're enjoying watching. So it's round 4, indeed. I wonder how these battles would work if they were sort of mainline competitive. Like, I guess it'd be best of 3, at least. I know that Joe, at least, and probably more people, have played in locals. Some of their local shops have been doing ZA battle tournaments. So I wonder how it works there. I need to ask him about that. Need a lot of knowledge to be able to tell the resist weaknesses and movement speeds. Yeah, for sure. Well, that's something we can work on, something we can build up. Swiss round 4, yeah. Another tongue twister about the mighty host Charlie. Well, thank you, Money. Charlie's commentary contrasts and is there calling coolest commentary creator. That's amazing. Charlie's commentary contrasts and is there calling coolest commentary creator. Charlie's commentary contrasts and is there calling coolest commentary creator. Charlie's commentary contrasts and is there calling coolest commentary creator. Not bad, I would say. Not bad. Many snipes KOs. Yeah, indeed. And that's another thing, you see. This is where 2 pairs of eyes would be useful to be able to pick up on. Ooh, just the snipe. Ooh, just the snipe. And that's a really fun thing that you can do in this game. It can feel a bit bad, but, you know, when you're the one who's dealt the most of the HP bar to the opponent and they're on 1 HP and then someone else swoops in and gets the KO. But, yeah. Caster Cart Charlie, indeed, Ronnie. Hope you enjoy some Pokemon Legends ZA casting. Alright, so, thank you very much again to Joe, but now let's move over to Moxie Boosted's VOD. So, Moxie, a team with Mega Banette and Metagross. I can't remember the 3rd Pokemon they're running, but I thought it'd be fun to feature 2 different creators. First of all, as a shout out to them, and thank you to them for letting me use their footage, and get involved, everyone, in all the fantastic Pokemon Legends ZA competitive content that's been going on. But also to feature different kinds of teams and seeing how they match up into each other. In terms of the team that Joe is running, let me see if I can find it. If it was to be like Mario Kart, I think it could be the total number of knockouts across X many rounds. Interesting. How does it work in Mario Kart? Because I know you're a competitive Mario Kart player, Jay. Total number of knockouts across however many rounds. I'll have to look into some competitive Mario Kart. If we rewind a little bit. Okay, so it's going to be Xerneas, Banette, and Metagross. Banette with Swords Dance, Phantom Force, Gunk Shot, which is a really nice way to deal with Xerneas. Super effective there. And Shadow Sneak. Shadow Sneak, a quicker move, so you get in a tiny amount of damage, and then you hit with a big move. Thanks so much for joining, by the way, everybody. If you're just tuning in, hello, I am Charlie Merriman. I'm Merri by name and Merri by nature. Hope to make your day very merry indeed with this stream. Casting Pokemon Legends a day for the first time ever. First time I've ever seen anyone cast Pokemon Legends a day. Just been casting some battles from JoeUX9. Thanks so much again to Joe for letting me use his footage. That was a lot of fun. And now we've moved over to Moxie Boosted's team, so I'm just going to break down this team. And if you don't know how the competitive battles work in this game, 3 minutes, 4 trainers on the field at once. Real-time battles. Of course, your moves cool down, so you can't just spam the same move many times in a row. There are moves that close the gap between you, something like Drill Run. There are moves that home in, like Dig, while also granting semi-invulnerability for a little bit. And of course, you can Mega Evolve. And in Ranked Season 2, we have access to Xerneas, Yveltal, and Mega Delphox newly. Please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying the stream. It would mean a huge amount. I'm at Chazingdra across all socials. Alright, let's take a little look at this team. So, that's the Banette here. Phantom Force is one of those semi-invulnerable moves. You disappear for a while, and then you strike. Swords Dance is so nice to be able to get a boost to your attack. Metagross running the Ice Punch, Heavy Slam, Light Screen, Reflect. Okay, so it screens Metagross. That's very interesting. You don't often see that. And in fact, Metagross with the Expert Belt rather than the Metagross side. So this Metagross won't be Mega Evolving. This is sometimes something we see. I've seen, for example, Dragalge holding the Assault Vest. Pokemon that can Mega Evolve, but don't because they have more utility, fulfilling another role. So Expert Belt is going to boost the super effective damage that Metagross can do, and that could be crucial actually, so that again you avoid the sniping that we were talking about just there. You get the KO because you have that tiny little extra boost to your damage output. So Reflect and Light Screen reducing all the damage that Marcos' team will take for a short while. Heavy Slam is another homing in move, and Mega Metagross in particular is a very heavy Pokemon. Ice Punch, great to cover against the dragons, and there are loads of them in the format. Running an Adamant nature here as well. In terms of this Xerneas, that's Banette. The Xerneas with Calm Mind, Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, and Thunderbolt. Interesting. So sometimes trainers will run 2 moves that are the same type, so that, you know, while Moonblast is cooling down, say, you can then weave in a Dazzling Gleam, because fairy damage does go a long way. And as you can see here, Marcos has maxed out the HP and defense of their Xerneas, so it's going to be hanging on through more than the opponent will be expecting. But there's no Geomancy. It means that Calm Mind is going to activate much more quickly. It's not going to boost Marcos' speed on their Xerneas. It's going to boost their special attack and special defense just like Geomancy and do it quicker. So it hopes to get set up more quickly, take some hits, and just keep spamming some damage. And holding the Berry so that super effective steel type moves are going to have their damage reduced. And it will be Mega Banette here as well. Good. Okay, well, let's queue up some games with Marcos. Group 4 and then battling 4 times versus each other. There we go. Yeah, maybe. Points awarded according to place per round. Yeah, that's fun. Mario Kart events consist of 12 races where the final scores are the total points of you or your team across them. That decides your final place, and in a tournament, top 15 the room would advance on. Interesting. Interesting, okay. Thank you for that, Jay. And now we will hop in some battles. Good. All right. Just hydrate. All right, let's cast. Welcome, trainers, to the Pokémon Legends ZA Battle Royale. I am Charlie Merriman, I'm Merri by name, and I'm Merri by nature, and I couldn't be merrier to welcome you into some competitive action here as Metagross hits the field for Marcos. And we've hit their sponsorship. Little advert, apologies about that, but we'll jump right into the game now. After this, Yep, good. Here's the Metagross on the field. Right, let's get going. Versus. So there's a Charizard staring down the Metagross across the field there. And here we have a Stunfisk. Fascinating. Don't see it too often in ranked battles, but it's one that does have utility. And an Excadrill that the purple trainer is running here is able to set up a Swords Dance as Marco sets up the screens. Ice Punch will be neutral damage into that Excadrill, but switching out because, of course, the Charizard threatening with that big Fire-type damage here. Swords Dance being set up by Marcus's Banette. Phantom Force disappearing. It's going to home in onto the Vaporeon. Hydro Pump, of course, going to miss thanks to that Phantom Force, the Shadow Sneak, but not enough to claim the KO. Marco still has 0 wins to their name. Switching in the Xerneas here. It's got the Babiri Berry and it's benefiting from the screens. It's not taking as much damage as it normally would. And we've hit with the trailer. We're hit with the trailer, everybody. I'm very sorry about that. We'll be skipping this trailer as soon as we possibly can. Oh, it's just going to be the 5-seconder. Right, Stunfisk are getting charged up there. Attempting a Thunderbolt now into the Xerneas. It's really good damage. There's no paralysis to speak of here. Life Orb Stunfisk at that. Xerneas is now galloping away with its boosts, trying to find its next target here. We've got a Xerneas facing down an Excadrill, a tale as old as time in the ranked Season 2. Xerneas on the other side is able to set up a Geomancy, threatening bigger damage. Marco's able to heal up the HP thanks to the green item they picked up here. Here's Skarmory threatening down the Xerneases, but Banette is a good answer into this, and except it just went down to a Brave Bird, but a hefty chunk of recoil damage dealt right back to this Skarmory here. Drill Run super effective against the Excadrill. Here comes Metagross once more, plodding along. Let's see what it's able to achieve here. Again, it's not holding the Metagross side, it's just got this Expert Belt, and it is going to come in clutch for Marcos here. The Ice Punch, super effective damage into the Stunfisk. This shiny Vaporeon galloping away as well. Metagross doesn't want to take that Fire-type damage. It was in the firing line from that Charizard, but Marco's able to switch out and Mega Evolve that Banette. Able to get off bigger damage with the Phantom Forces, maybe set up another Swords Dance here as well. Running around the map, potentially picking up that Mega Energy to be able to keep this Mega Evolution going for longer. Able to get this Phantom Force off now. The Garchomp Mega Evolve slightly too late there to be able to be invulnerable, but the Phantom Force not connecting down anyway. Shadow Sneak not enough for the knockout anyway. It's got to be a lower health than that. Can only swap in one more Pokemon for this purple trainer here. That's going to be the KO and the reset anyway. We've got 45 seconds left in this battle, trainers. Xerneas going to seek down this Stunfisk once more. The Moonblast, but the switch into the Chandelure would have resisted that hit, but it dodged anyway. Able to set up a Calm Mind now. Can the Banette get this Phantom Force off? Yes, before the Shadow Ball. How much damage though? Just enough for the one-hit KO. Marco's on 2 KOs now. We've got 6 apiece for the red and green trainers here. The Gunk Shot, such a nice tech move onto this Banette. Super effective into the Xerneas. Not enough for the KO, and unfortunately going to go down to that Thunderbolt. Marcos needs to claim back some wins here. Just the 2 and the 10 seconds. Is it going to be a last-minute KO onto this Chandelure? Marcos trying to weave it in as quickly as possible. Going for, well, maybe attempting a Phantom Force, but Shadow Sneak might have been able to claim it more quickly. And that's going to be it. The time is up. Well played to all of the trainers here. And in the lead is going to be the green trainer with the Chandelure in the picture. Marcos, unfortunately, finishing in 3rd position. Well, you can see how far the Gunk Shot can go on Banette there to be able to threaten Xerneas with super effective damage, and also how big the Phantom Force can be, right? Just disappearing, you're not taking any damage at all, but at the same time we saw Marcos at the end there sort of falling foul of, I think it was the Xerneas not being quite low enough health for the Shadow Sneak to be able to claim the KO, even with, I think, a Swords Dance boost, so got to be careful. I mean, I don't believe Banette was Mega Evolved at that point either. Maybe that would have been the difference maker in a KO or not, but really well played by Marcos there. And the screens from Metagross as well. If a trainer sets up screens, you will inevitably see them switching less often because, of course, it gives your Pokemon more longevity on the field. And Marco's really using those to the best of their advantage. But I also love how that Metagross isn't just there to support. With the Expert Belt, it can deal out some significant damage as well. And we saw the Stunfisk go down to the Ice Punch that a Metagross could dish out there too. A lot of Xerneas in the format right now, and I mean, because Yveltal is just weaker to Xerneas, especially because Xerneas also gets Thunderbolt, it's a hard time. I would say it's a hard time to run Yveltal. I myself, I'd love to run Phalanx because it's my favorite new Mega, but you can see how much Phalanx struggles. Yeah, super effective into the Excadrill, but otherwise it's not quite there, I would say. It's not quite there. Yeah, Charizard has been on the rise as well, the fire type moves. And at X and Y, we've seen both of them. Y is a bit fast. No, they're the same speed. Y has more special attack. But yeah, great in something like the Excadrill, of course, because it's immune to the ground type moves as well. And this is the thing. In ZA, because there are no abilities, it's not like we're dealing with Levitate or anything like that. You just have to be a flying type to be able to ignore ground type damage. So there's a premium on those, and Skarmory has been doing very well as well. Yes, that's true. That's a good point, Alex. Only 1 hour in a stream, but so intense to cast this Imagine Towers. No, I know, Tony. Well, I imagine... Hello, Sir Toasty Toes. Welcome in to the stream. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Check out Sir Toasty Toes' fantastic content. Hello to the gamers indeed. I hope you're looking forward to some Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battle casting. Thanks so much for hopping in, Toasty Toes. Kyogre and Groudon will work with no abilities. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I imagine that if this were to be used in official events, Tony, it'd be a bit like Pokemon Go. It wouldn't be 10 hours, it'd be a much shorter bout, and there'd be more caster rotation. And also, if we were doing like a best of 4, I imagine it'd be 1 caster pair for that. And then you'd rotate, there'd be another best of 4, and so on. So yeah, I'm sure there'd be ways around it, because also for the trainers, it's like this high intensity, high octane battle style. It's a lot to wrap your head around. So, that was fun. How do I feel about how that one went, that cast? Yeah, I think pretty good. I think it's just about getting the reps in, so let's queue up another. Okay. At least at a side events. Ooh, yeah, that'll be good. I could see that happening, Toasted Toes. I could see this becoming the battle system in Gen 10, maybe, or, you know, at least other Legends games. I don't know. We'll see if it becomes meta in some way. But I know that people are having a lot of fun with it. Do you enjoy the battle system, so Toasted Toes? Who here enjoys the battle system in ZA? And do you prefer it to VGC? That's my question to you all. Alrighty. Just focus. Let's do another. By the way, shout out again to Moxie Boosted Marcos Perez for the use of their video to cast over today. This video, if you're interested, is called Mega Banette Hits Like a Truck. Pokemon Legends ZA rank battles, so do check that out on Moxie Boosted's Gym, that second channel that Marcos has. Now let's queue up another game to cast over. Alrighty then, trainers, welcome back to the Quasargo building. You can cash in those Mega Shards for the Mega Stones, and I'm sure that's what all these trainers have been doing right here, right now for the Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. This Metagross, however, not rocking the Metagross site. It's going to be the Expert Belt, as well as screens, giving out that little bit of a boost in power and the utility and longevity for the other Pokemon on the field. Setting up the light screen while Xerneas sets up the Geomancy, and Metagross now setting up the Reflect as well. Of course, Marcos could choose to switch out that Pokemon into another one, and they would benefit from the screens as well. For Alligator running around, looks like an alpha there too, and we've got another screens Metagross here that Marcos has to contend with. Here comes the Excadrill coming in, the Ice Punch attempted, so that surprise slightly ruined there now for Marcos. We've got an alpha versus a regular Excadrill, the Earthquake, just enough for the one-hit KO from the regular Excadrill. Marcos going for that switch here, switching in its place the Banette, benefiting from the screens, and got that attack boosting item, so it's going to be hitting all the harder. Now Xerneas comes in its place, maybe setting up a Calm Mind, or maybe just going for the raw damage. Garchomp hates to see a Xerneas head in its direction. Xerneas takes a big chunk there, but cannot respond with the KO. The switch into Metagross means that surely it cannot, and that's going to be the Xerneas over on for another trainer, securing the KO for the Banette here. So far, scores on the doors. We've got the green trainer out in front with 2 KOs, and then purple and blue with 1. So Banette has now hit the field. Marcos is back, everybody. Banette has gone for its Mega Evolution. just in time because it's got that attack power up as well. And let's see the utility that Marcos can get out of it. The Phantom Force into the Excadrill, going to be the KO here. Burnett brought down low, but it's not enough for the KO. The Gunk Shot able to claim the KO onto the Xerneas, but also the Burnett goes down to that Xerneas' hit there. Now Marcos with the timeout, switching back in, and it will be Burnett in the lead. Of course, the trainers in that brief downtime can choose which Pokemon they lead with, but now the Xerneas from the green trainer can set up another Geomancy. And we have a trailer for chickpeas as well as popcorn, everybody. Don't you love them both? Don't you love them both together at the same time? I think we're just going to have to watch this advert for YouTube Music. And now we're right back into it. Attempted Phantom Force, and the Burnett hangs on with 5 HP, and it's homing into this Xerneas. It's not enough for the KO, and the Shadow Sneak isn't either. And the Burnett switching into the Metagross here. And this Garchomp will be threatening it down with super effective damage, but so will this Ice Punch from the Metagross. It just glances the Garchomp there. Not the most attack investment because this is a Screens Metagross. It's brought down so low, but now it looks like the Avalugg might have claimed the KO onto the Garchomp. Xerneas comes back in instead, and that's going to be Excadrill now threatening a big super effective Iron Head down onto Marcos' Xerneas. Another Xerneas over on the other side of the field sets up its own Geomancy as well. Let's not forget Marcos' Carmine rather than Geomancy here. The Mega Evolution from Excadrill means it's semi-invulnerable for a little bit here. The Drill Run meaning it's just charging right to the other end of the map as Burnett tries to get this Phantom Force off against this Excadrill. Is it going to be enough for the KO? It looks like it was another Pokemon that claimed the KO onto that just before the Phantom Force was able to activate here. So now Marcos, with just 20 seconds left of this battle remaining, going to lead with the Burnett once more, trying to set up that Swords Dance, trying to get this defense boost as well to give it more longevity. Marcos with 4 KOs. Can they weave in a 5th? Can they be the one to claim the most KOs and win this battle as this Alpha for Alligator hits hard with this Liquidation into the Excadrill, but it's not enough for the KO. Is that a KO that Marcos can claim instead? The Moonblast is not enough to get the KO onto the Feraligatr. So let's take a look at the scores on the doors. Let's take a look at how that one shaped up. And in the lead, the winner of that Battle Royale is going to be joint between blue and purple here. Marcos and the purple trainer. Huge congratulations to them. Incredible scenes from so many Pokemon right now. You can see why Xerneas is so prevalent right now in the ranked Season 2 metagame. Setting out the Geomancy, or it could be a Carmine. Of course, Carmine doesn't take as long to activate, and that means it can sweep all the faster. And while the opposing Xerneas are getting set up with Geomancy, you can weave in some attacks there as well. Fascinating to see the Feraligatr. Of course, if you Mega Evolve it, then it will be taking super effective damage from the Fairy-type moves, but maybe we'll start to see Feraligatr run without the Feraligatr. The Feraligatr won't be able to Mega Evolve, and that means that it can retain its Water typing, hold maybe an offensive item instead, the Life Orb, for example, hit with that physical move, weaving an Aqua Jet, weaving a Liquidation. It's so good against the Excadrill, and of course Feraligatr gets access to Ice Fang as well to be able to deal with those pesky Garchomps. Huge congratulations to all of the trainers there. You can see Marcos really indexing hard on the Burnett, and you can see why. I mean, the Phantom Force, the invulnerability that grants, and with the Swords Dance boost too. It's a real threat, and especially with the Mega Boost and all of the pickups that Marcos was able to secure for themselves, hitting so hard and able to soak up the hits. Even more so thanks to the longevity of the screens. You don't have to run the Metagross site. Mega Metagross so good into opposing Xerneas, but that's not the only way to run it, trainers. So, fascinating. Well done to Marcos. Well done to all the trainers there. We'll get into another battle very shortly. And scene. Whew. It's a doozy, I tell you. But it's 3-minute short bursts, and that makes it more doable. Maybe in the future I'll look into getting other people to cast with for the Pokémon Legends ZA battles. But nice to get my head around it this way for now. Just get in the reps doing casting by myself. Because again, I haven't seen anyone else do this on YouTube or anywhere else. So I'm excited about that, and just to get my head around it. I'd love to be able to cast this as well, should it become a thing that is cast. And I was going to say, yeah, just to repeat, ideally we'd sort of have a 4-way split screen so that we could talk about each individual trainer, and that's where 2 casters would pay even more dividends. You know, I could take care of 2 of the screens, the other caster could take care of the other 2. We could see how those stories weave in together over the course of the battle. But as it is, inevitably, it's sort of slightly hero building too much on the one trainer whose perspective we can see, because, of course, some of the other battle action will just be happening off screen. We're not able to see some of the KOs that are being claimed. So yeah, inevitably there's going to be a bit of a focus there, but you know, I'll do my best to be able to split the attention and try and make it as fair as I possibly can. But I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. I hope you're enjoying some Legends ZA casting. Please do like the stream if you are. I mean a huge amount. I'm excited to do this because, again, it's the first time I've ever seen anyone do this. You've been enjoying the ranked battles. I'm glad to hear it. You've been using your shiny alpha sizzle to eat Xerneas. Oh my goodness, that sounds terrifying. So toasty toast. Yeah, lovely. One thing's for sure, the most experienced ZA caster in the world now. That's true. That's true, everybody. Most experienced ZA caster in the world right here, right now. So, you know, I'm available for any ZA casting you may need me to do. Hello to you, Ferret. Welcome into the stream. Thanks so much for being here. Side event, ranked season, only starters unevolved allowed. Ooh, I would love that. I would love to see some unevolved Pokemon being viable. Clutch Yachi Berry. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I missed the Yachi Berry. That's another thing I have to keep my eyes out for. Yes, that's a note to myself. Keep an eye on the little messages to the right of the screen showing when, you know, a Yachi Berry is activated, a Focus Sash is activated, because otherwise we can't see the held items of opposing Pokemon. So thank you for calling that out. To Toasty Toes. Even commentates the advert. Thanks, Rich. Well, you know, not much we can do about that, is there? Oh no, if consumable items restore if you get code. Yes, I believe they do, so Toasty Toes. But if you get targeted with knockoff, then that item will not be restored. I don't believe you can knock off Megastones. But if you have a berry and that gets knocked off, and then you get KO'd, it's not going to be restored when you revive. But if you get KO'd and the berry, you've consumed the berry, then it will still be restored in the normal way. I believe that's how it works. Satoshi Toes. Commentates seeing a flower berry. Well, you know. I would happily commentate seeing a flower grow if there was a market for it. Do your own ads for the ads. Yeah, I could. That's not a bad idea, right? It's not a bad idea. Do four-way split with two casters. It would still be a challenge, but it might make things a bit easier. Hello, Aerial Clips. Welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you hopping into the stream, and great to see a new name in the chat. Are you enjoying Pokemon Legends today? Did I update my YT link on Twitter? It led me to the previous stream issues. I reposted saying new link. So hopefully that worked, Mom. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, real shame about that, but hey, it's going to happen sometime. But you're here now, and I hope you enjoy some ZA casting. OTS, we very helpful for casting. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I would argue necessary for casters, the open team sheet. Necessary. Well, let's queue up another Moxie Boosted battle, shall we? I'll just rehydrate. Yeah. And just to clarify, everybody, it's Moxie Boosted stream, and shout out to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted again for the use of their footage to be able to cast over. But of course, there are no abilities in Pokemon Legends ZA. None of the Pokemon will be Moxie Boosted, just Moxie Boosted, the creator, that we'll be featuring. So, let's do some more. Just had to refocus that. They go so quickly. Gotta get back in the zone. Alrighty. Welcome back, trainers, to more Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. I'm Charlie Merriman. I'm so merry by name, and I'm so merry by nature to welcome you into this stream. We're going to have a very merry time. Commentators on more battles with this really interesting Screens Metagross non-mega team the Marcos Perez is running. We've got Garchomp, we've got an Eviltal, our first Eviltal on stream, and we've got Clefable there as well. Interesting to see Clefable being run because, of course, normally we would have Xerneas in its place. Clefable switching out and the Excadrill coming in its place. So Metagross hasn't set up the screens just yet, but there it is, setting up that Reflect as Eviltal wants to feast on it with its Dark-type moves. The Earthquake attempted from that Excadrill, but Metagross able to get out of the way in its place. Eviltal access to the Phantom Falls, fantastic to see as an Alpha Vaporeon hits the field here as well. Moonblast, and we have the KO from Marcos there onto the Clefable, I believe it was. So that's going to be 1 point now to Marcos, tied with the green trainer here. A Chandelure hits the field as well. These Metagross do not want to see that Chandelure, even though it's beautiful in its shiny form. Let's see see if it megas. That is a Mega Metagross over for the red trainer here. But, of course, it's not the Mega Metagross that Marcos is running. Now, Burnett here has hit the fray, is able to get a couple of KOs there against the Chandelure and indeed the Metagross. Very volatile matchup, of course. Ghost threatens Ghost, but Marcos is able to weave these in. The Phantom falls, but then the Burnett is KO'd by the Garchomp's Earthquake here as well. So, you know, sometimes it works both ways. Now, Hydro Pump landed right into the Chandelure, but the defense boost seems to have paid dividends for it there. Time to Mega Evolve onto this Burnett. And it means that Mega Burnett is ready to threaten massive damage onto the Chandelure, but switching out into the Clefable here. Now, Vaporeon, how much damage will it take from a Phantom Force here? Because actually, no, Swords Dance is what Marcos was locked into now. Burnett is able to take a Hydro Pump just barely. Shadow Ball, the Shadow Sneak, and we have another advert right now, but hopefully the advert will be over relatively swiftly. Everybody will be able to get into the next bit of this stream. Yep, okay, and we're back. We're back, everybody. That's going to be the Burnett knocked out by the Chandelure. Unfortunately, the Shadow Sneak was not enough to secure the KO there onto the Chandelure. Right, Glaceon has hit the field. Ice-type damage, fantastic, into, for example, the Yveltal. But that's going to be the Metagross claiming the KO here. Now it's Mega versus regular Metagross. Metagross able to set up the screens. Mega Metagross attempting an Earthquake, and you can see the dividends the screens pay because, of course, going to be Marcos' Metagross taking it so well. But now Burnett set up behind both screens, able to go for this Phantom Force, and it's super effective into this Chandelure here. Got a couple of Chandelure on the field, but another Phantom Force means that Marcos is now 6 KOs in and very much in the lead here. Let's see if the other trainers are able to catch up in the final 40 seconds of this match. Locking onto the Vaporeon. In order to set up that Swords Dance, you have to lock on even to use those boosting moves. Another Phantom Force here, that invulnerability, but targeted down onto this Clefable. It's going to be enough for the KO. Marcos now with 7 KOs here. Now wandering over to this Metagross. The Shadow Sneak, even that is enough to bring down the Metagross to about a quarter of its HP. Can we weave in another Shadow Sneak here? Unfortunately, the Shadow Ball there is going to be enough to secure the KO onto the Burnett. And now just 15 seconds remaining of this battle, trainers. Who is going to reap all of the rewards here as Purple is rising up the ranks with 4 wins, but Marcos still has 7. It's going to be Xerneas hitting the fray now instead. Can we weave in another quick KO? Yes, we can! It's going to be Xerneas claiming the KO onto the Yveltal, a tale as old as time here in Lumio City. And Marcos Perez with an absolutely dominant display here, showing just how you can make Burnett run in your favor. Burnett, Pokemon we haven't seen too much of in the Pokemon Legends ZA Season 2 ranked battles, but Marco showing why you want to run it. The Swords Dance and the Phantom Force and weaving in the Shadow Sneak that did so much damage to that Metagross, bringing it down to a quarter of its HP even though it wasn't a Phantom Force. That Shadow Sneak is not the most powerful of moves, and of course it's got a very quick recharge time, just spamming the Shadow Sneak. Really, really masterfully done by Marcos, and what a hype end as well to be able to just claim that last minute KO from the Xerneas onto the Yveltal, the 2 mascots of Pokemon Generation 6, and it was Marcos that came out on top. Chandelure, again, Pokemon we've seen quite a lot on stream tonight. We didn't even see the Chandelure go for the Mega there. Still so powerful, and Shadow Ball such a long-range attack. You're able to retreat to safety and get that Shadow Ball flying into your opponent's direction. Very cool to see the Clefable, and again, yeah, really fascinating because, of course, when you have access to Xerneas, you might not think that people will be running those special attackers that are Fairy types that are not Xerneas, but maybe Clefable has a place in the metagame, and of course, if you turn it into Mega Clefable, gains access to that flying typing, and ground type moves are everywhere as we've seen today, and that could be absolutely huge for that Clefable. Otherwise, things of note from that game, I think we've covered them pretty well there, but Glaceon, just want to give a quick shout out to that. An ice type Pokemon which doesn't like to stare down the Chandelure, but of course great into Yveltal, great into Garchomp, which is still ever present ever since the very first ranked season in Pokemon Legends ZA. So let's see how Glaceon stocks continue to fare in Season 2. And I think that battle was also a showcase as to why we've seen barely any Yveltal on tonight's stream, because of course it just threatened so much against Xerneas, which has been threatening with so much damage left, right and center. So Yveltal, maybe it will find a place, and healing up with Oblivion Wing, the fact that it gets access to Phantom Force itself is really, really nice, but remains to be seen. Congratulations again to Marcos for a fantastic victory, climbing from Z all the way up to A. And scene. Whew. Time to hydrate. Well, I was pleased with that. Yeah. There's always so much to talk about. It's also, as I learned that time, very hard to keep an eye on the messages to the right of the screen as well as do the casting and stay in the moment. Which, by the way, is my top tip for anyone doing casting. Stay in the moment. Just focus on what's in front of you. Anything else, for those 3 minutes or for however long you're casting, it doesn't matter. The game that's in front of you is the most important thing to focus on right then. And you can learn far more about that in my I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever video, which is on my channel. I'm very proud of it. It's like 2 hours long. A real deep dive into the tournament from the caster's perspective as a real labour of love that. And an epic tale. And breaks down VGC for everyone to enjoy. But of course, these battles are very different from VGC. But yeah, I was pretty happy with that. Baby Excadrill indeed, Ellie. Focus thingy before each casting stream. Yeah, for sure, and I do. Yeah, I need to. We all need to maintain our focus in. If you mean the like little hydrate focus time I take, yeah, I absolutely do that. The composure at the outbreak switch. Thank you, King Nido. Not much you can do about it. Imagine a new hype coming for the next VGC regional. The ZA fist bump between the casters. Oh yeah, that's true. I like that. That's a fun idea, Tony. Chandler holding life orb. Yes. True, yeah, and that can claim the KO on itself. That's something I need to keep an eye out for as well. Thanks, Meta. Feels like you could open people up to play more with their favourites. I totally agree, King Netto. It's really exciting to see the lesser seen Pokemon rise to the fore in this in Pokemon Legends ZA rank battles. Like Glaceon, like Chandelure, maybe more so in the Mega, but yeah. And Clefable. I think it's still such a fresh metagame that people are still really experimenting with things, and I'm looking forward to doing that too. It's just the in-game resources are so expensive and also just hard to come by, like bottle caps. The only way to get them, the most reliable way to get them really, is actually doing the ranked battles ladder. So, yeah. I totally agree. I think it's if you're a player who likes to try winning their favorites, then I think ZA is definitely the call for that, because you have 2 other Pokemon to back your favorite up. Like Phalanx didn't do brilliantly when I played with it on stream yesterday, but I think it could have a place if it had the right support. Hydrate King indeed. Thank you very much, Ellie. I did. Impressive show of casting skills. Well, thank you so much, Tony. Very much enjoyed it. I'm really enjoying doing this faster paced style of casting, and maybe, as I say, we'll be able to have co-casters on at some point. Yeah. Size for surviving that being KO'd once. The gold requires like 50 floors matches. Oh my goodness me. The thing about that is, surely you could just run away from all the Pokemon, right? And that could be a way to sort of cheat it, but I don't know if it works that way. Alrighty. Well, everybody. Let's hydrate, let's queue up another game. I'm sorry for the issues that we had at the start of stream, by the way, everybody. We had to end the stream and then start another one because my OBS had frozen, which was a real shame. It will show me not to keep OBS open for too long, close it down and boot it back up, even when I'm all good to go with the stream. In fact, on that note, I'm just going to comment on the original Twitter post, or actually, is it worth doing at this point? Yeah, I think it is. Comment on the original Twitter post I did with the new link, because I had to restart. So I'll be with you very soon the other way. I'm glad you're having fun watching it, Ellie. It's a lot of fun to cast as well, and the high intensity is a nice departure from VGC. Okay, I'm just commenting on the original post I did with the new link because I had to restart the stream because of issues. Alrighty. And then we'll queue up another battle. Good. Let me know if you have any feedback, by the way, everybody. If there's something you think I could be doing better or differently, I'd be interested to hear, because again, first time I've ever seen anyone cast Pokemon Legends today, and want to give it my absolute best shot. As with everything, we always want to keep improving in life, don't we? Okay. It looks like Marcos makes some switches to his team, maybe. Maybe, yeah, I think just makes a move, a plus move that wasn't before. Alright. That's cool, that shiny Pyro main. shiny Mega Pyro, man. Not sure I've seen that before. Anyway, right. Alright, let's cast. It's really good practice for VGC casting as well, because it's so intense and fast that you just have to be in the moment. You have no option for anything else. And as I say, that I think is the most important thing for casting, and so it's helped me practice that. Hello everybody, welcome back to Wild Zone 3, I think it is, for another ranked battle. I am Charlie Merriman, I'm Merri by name, and I'm Merri by nature. And this battle is certainly going to be a very merry one, featuring this screen non-Mega Metagross team that Marcos Perez is running. Got an Alpha Lucario staring it down from the other side of the field, and a Xerneas, and that's a Go-Goat, everybody, a shiny Go-Goat. Let's see what Go-Goat can achieve. It's not something we see very commonly in this metagame right now, as Metagross is able to set up these screens here, mitigating the damage that it takes, and Xerneas hates to see it, trying to gallop away from this. It's gone for a Dazzling Gleam, but it's been so vulnerable to a heavy slam there, and we've got another advert. This bear is looking like a grizzly bear walking a mountain here, but there's going to be some more battling action to dive into very, very shortly, everybody. He belongs on the TV, some things belong on the big screen. Hopefully you feel like this casting belongs on the big screen as well, as the Go-Goat is able to weave in a brick break here. The Metagross brought down low, but not before the switch into the Banette. Now, this Go-Goat really dishing out the brick breaks left, right, and center. A Goodra joining the fray here as well. An attempted gunk shot, but Lucario just charging around, avoiding any incoming damage. The Phantom Force targeted onto Lucario here. And is it going to be able to secure the KO? Yes, it certainly is. Homing in on that Pokemon. And this Banette still has a boost to its offensive prowess thanks to the red pickup that it was able to acquire. Now, this shiny Mega Pyroar has hit the fray here, and the Earth Power, really nice tech move that it has access to. The Gunk Shot, we've seen an Aerodactyl join the field as well. We often don't see this Pokemon. Marcos can only switch in a Pokemon one more time, everybody. We'll have to be KO to be able to reset that counter. Heavy Slam, just good for a bit of chip damage onto the Xerneas, and even just the Dazzling Gleam here is enough for the KO. It's 2-2-1-1, 2-2 for blue-red, 1-1 for green-purple. This Go-Go is putting in a shift here on the field. It's barely left it, as another Leaf Blade attempted to weave into this Xerneas right now. Going for another Bulk Up. It's really weaving these in as much as it possibly can, because maybe leaves something to be desired, its stat distribution. That's going to be the switch. Dodging the Flamethrower, but the Metagross not going to be able to dodge that Flamethrower. And now Marcos at a deficit here. It's the Red Trainer with 3 KOs, Marcos only with 2. Here comes the Banette. That's a massive Hyper Beam, what looked like coming out from the Pyro there, of course, boosted because Pyro is a part normal type Pokemon. But the Earthquake now is not able to get the KO onto the Pyro thanks to that defensive boost. Banette has got a Swords Dance boost now, but is it going to be able to do anything against this Pyro? It does have Gunk Shot, that I believe is the only way it can hit this Pokemon. Now a big Surf coming in, but Banette is safe from that damage. That's going to be the Goodra hitting the field here as well. How much damage can this Banette do to it? As we have a Mega Aerodactyl. Looks like it's in range for a Shadow Sneak, perhaps. Yes, it is. That's going to be Marcos claiming another KO here. Now the Green Trainer with 5 knockouts. Banette is down to just 8 HP, but you can see the dividends that Marcos is weaving in and out of the dodges is doing here. Now, so it looks like a frozen Goodra here, so switching out. A Mega Tyranitar has hit the field for the first time. Banette is down to that Hydro Pump. Just 30 seconds remaining now, everybody, in this ZA Battle Royale. Joe, refreshed, going into this Metagross. Tyranitar lumbering around, but of course this Xerneas, having been switched in for Joe now, threatens the Tyranitar with super effective damage. Big Moonblast, not boosted by the Calm Mind. Earthquake response, but able to claim the KO. Joe's Xerneas here is now 5 KOs to Marco, sorry, not Joe, and 5 more seconds. The Green Trainer looks like they're going to do it, unless there's going to be one more knockout weaved in its place. No. Okay, so it looks like Marcos was maybe second place there with 5 KOs, and yeah, no, it's going to be the Green Trainer there with the 6. Wow, well, we definitely saw some Pokemon there that we don't normally see in Pokemon Legends ZA ranked, because Yeah, the Go-Goat and the Aerodactyl is really interesting to see that. Aerodactyl, I mean, any flying-type Pokemon has a bit of a premium in Pokemon Legends at A-rank battles because, of course, it's one way to be immune to those ground-type moves. You don't have an air balloon, you do not have the levitate ability, so flying-type is the only way to be immune there. So Aerodactyl can get stuff done, especially with the rise of Mega Delphox in these ranked Season 2 battles. Threatening with super effective rock type damage, really, really huge. And of course the Pyroar there as well. You do take super effective from the Excadrill, but really interesting to see that Aerodactyl come to the fray. I was surprised to see how much the Go-Goat remained on the field, actually. Weaving in those bulk ups, it really had to rely on those bulk ups. And I can't remember which trainer now was running those, running that Go-Goat, but it would be interesting to see how Go-Goat fares. I feel like grass types are in a bit of a weird position in the metagame right now. They don't achieve too much. I can see Venusaur doing well because it has that part poison typing to resist Xerneas. But Go-Goat, I'm not sure if it's the play, but clearly it's working for that trainer, a rank A trainer, I believe they were as well. Again, Mega Vanette getting up to its cheeky antics there. So, fantastic. Well, very well played to Marcos, and commiserations on the loss there, but nearly up there, nearly up there. The Mega Pyro there as well, I do want to shout that out with the big Hyper Beams. That's a move with a really, really long cooldown time. Of course, the cooldown time is what prevents you from just spamming a move over and over again. But it's so much damage and such range as well. You can see it fire across the whole map there, and anything in its path will take damage. You could claim multiple KOs in just one fell swoop with that Hyper Beam, so I do really like that strategy. It might be something I look into for my own ranked battles there. Well done, trainers. From Z all the way up to A. We'll be back with another battle very shortly. And see. Oh. Alrighty. Grass do have resistance to ground. That's a very good point. That's a very good point, Sonny. Yeah. No, I can see it. I can see the utility that the grass provides from that perspective. Let me just rehydrate. Need to own the moment. Yeah, absolutely. You just get swept up in the chaos if you're not owning the moment while casting Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. That's Luna jump scare. Yeah, indeed. Go jumping to safety. Yeah, bounding around the field. You're not in this game, I know. 10 out of 10 bear content, yes. Exactly that, Ronnie. 2 out of 3 with 1 Shadow Sneak from the boosts. Woof. Yes, 2/3, I know. Shadow Sneak putting in some real work here. Close fight. Good. Well, the adverts are a bit annoying, but no, I'm pleased how that went. I think, I've been doing quite a few in a row now, and so definitely the time is creeping in. But I think it's doing decently. Those battles there, yeah. I think what I'm going to do is cast one more game from Joe, one more game from Marcos, and then that'll be that for today's stream. But yeah, thanks so much for sharing all these battles with me. We've done like 10 battles so far, I want to say. And I feel like I'm, developing each time, and it's just all about getting reps in, as with any kind of casting. So thanks so much for joining, everybody. Okay, let's go back to Joe's video, which is Mega Delphox is amazing in Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles, in case you want to check it out yourselves. And I recommend that you check out both Moxie Boosted and JoeUX9's content, because there aren't that many creators doing competitive Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles, and these two are certainly leading lights in that regard. So make sure you are caught up with everything they're doing. A huge shout out to JoeUX9 and Moxie Boosted again for the use of their footage for this stream. I'm glad it flies by, Ellie. I think in the moment, it's the 3 minutes seem longer than they actually are, because you're just talking the whole time. You're sort of scavenger hunting for things to talk about, But let's cue out the final battle that will feature from JoeUX9. And just as a reminder, JoeUX9 is running the Delphox, Xerneas, and Excadrill, I believe it is. Yeah, so let's switch up the teams. That should keep things fresh as well. And please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying, everybody. It would mean a massive amount, because I think I'm the first person ever to cast Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. So please do show your support for that. I'm excited for it, and I'll probably be making a video out of this stream as well. So, thank you. With that being said, just hydrate again and we'll get into another battle. Nearly at the end of my water as well, so Goes to show how much you need to hydrate casting these battles. Buzzer Bob, great to see you. Thank you so much for hopping into the stream. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Wonderful to see you. My friend, someone who I really only know from online, but we might have been in each other's presence in Anaheim for the World Championships this year in August 2025, of course. I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I hope you're doing well, Buzzer Bob. Thank you so much for being here in the stream. You're just in time because we're going to queue up another battle. This one from JoeUX9's perspective. I would love to feature, you know, a four-way split screen, but that's impossible to do at this stage. But we'll just have to keep it as the one perspective for now. Just focus and we'll get into it. Hello trainers, let's dive into another map here in Pokémon Legends ZA Rank Battles. I'm Charlie Merriman, a Merri by name and Merri by nature. I couldn't be merrier to jump in with this Xerneas team that JoeUX9 is running. The classic Geomancy set, and going up against, well, that's another Xerneas, that's unsurprising to see here. Joe immediately setting up a Geomancy, and so is the opponent. Looks like basically at exactly the same time as well. But now that's set up, they're sort of safe locked onto each other. We've got a big Kangaskhan here as well, and it's taking a big Moonblast, and it's just going to be the big one-hit KO onto that Kangaskhan. Here comes a Drill Run just in order to cover some ground from this Excadrill, covering the map oh so quickly. The Moonblast attempted into that slot, but it's not going to go down. The Earthquake here, rather than a Steel-type move, really interesting, maybe predicting a switch there, all about anticipating your opponent's next move. This is Xerneas with the Screens utility, rather than necessarily the Geomancy one, switching into the Excadrill instead for Joe here, and that Xerneas has that Life Orb item here as well. The Drill Run, unfortunately not connecting down into the Chandelure, and then the opposing Excadrill able to just Drill Run through Joe's own. That's going to be the KO. So Schools on the Doors, red with one, green with now two. Just another KO weaved in there. A couple of Chandelure facing off against each other. Volatile matchup. They threaten super effective, but Joe is able to get that Excadrill over there, quaking the earth and KOing the Chandelure, picking up this defense boosting item to boot as well, and some mega power. Is it going to be the Mega Excadrill? Not quite yet. The Drill Run's be able to cover some ground here, and now you can go for that Earthquake, but the opposing Excadrill is able to get out of there. Now time for the Mega Excadrill to show itself. This Garchomp isn't going to appreciate taking this damage here, but of course Garchomp threatens it right back with super effective damage. Joe switching into the Xerneas here. Garchomp targeting down this Pokemon, even though it takes super effective damage from the Moonblast, and it looks like that wasn't Joe that was able to get the KO there. And switch around the Pokemon a lot, can only switch in one more Pokemon before the reset after being KO'd. Chandelure now with a boost to its offensive stats here. The Mega Excadrill looking to get a Drill Run off before the Heat Wave, which it's able to, and it dodges that Heat Wave as well, but the overheat there is going to be able to claim the KO onto the Excadrill in return. Xerneas switching in, boosted, benefiting from that boosted power, and look at this, we have another trailer here, very strange robotic dogs that we have, and this advert should be over very shortly, everybody. We'll get right back into the casting action. That's going to be, look at these bow-wowing dogs. Let's hope this advert ends soon, because I really don't want to move the screen, because otherwise I'm going to have to reset the position for the OBS. Yes, let's get this over with so that we can queue up another ZA ranked battle here. Okay, right, so Joe is now respawned, and that's going to be the Excadrill hitting the field once more. The Chandelure is really threatened. It's now gone for the Mega, but how long is that Mega going to last, I ask you? Because here comes the Drill Run. Not going to be enough for the KO, but that big Heat Wave just sending that vortex of flame all around. The Chandelure switching out, and now here comes another Earthquake, and it's not going to be enough to secure the KO onto that Mega Excadrill, but Joe's own Excadrill is hanging on as well, switching into the Xerneas, and now Garchomp on such low HP would love to be able to just quickly claim the KO there, but it's not going to be enough. We've got 30 seconds left in this battle, everybody. Every Pokemon trainer watching. Another Heat Wave and the Excadrill switching in, and it's going to be enough to claim the KO onto that Pokemon here. 30 seconds for some kind of ground to be made up here. The purple and green trainers on 4 apiece, and blue and red on 2. Excadrill chasing down the Xerneas here. That's going to be the Mega Mawile, setting up a Swords Dance. It's not going to appreciate the ground type moves from Excadrill here either. Time to go Mega, go hard or go home in the final 10 seconds of this game, chasing down an Earthquake. Is not going to be in range, and neither is the Chandelure here. And Excadrill going to take big damage from the Heat Wave, and it looks like there's going to be a final, no final KO here. Let's see what the scores on the doors are. So, Joe, unfortunately, was down with 2 victories there rather than the winning 5. But, yeah, going to be in 3rd place. It's going to be the green trainer coming out on top. Congratulations to them. So, Mega Excadrill really putting in a shift there. And unfortunately, just the Chandelier, you know, again, very volatile. They threaten super effective damage into each other, so very hard to be able to be the one claiming the advantage there. But switching around really, really well. So what, it was Xerneas, Excadrill, and the Delphox, which actually didn't make an appearance this game, which kind of makes sense because there was so much Excadrill going on and also Chandelier, and Chandelier does kind of counter the Delphox really convincingly. So it makes sense that the Delphox didn't hit the field in this particular game. I like how Joe was using the drill runs to cover so much of the map and then threaten the earthquakes onto the opposing Pokemon. Rather than using it necessary for damage, just fast travel and then catch the opponent off guard while the drill run cools down. That was really fantastic to see. And yeah, interesting to have this Xerneas mirror where they both face each other and go for Geomancy because they don't threaten each other too badly. So it's kind of safe. I will, if you will, the sort of agreement that those two Pokemon make. And seen. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to talk about from that one. Yeah. I think we covered the bases there. Yeah. Chandler going crazy with those heat waves. Such a threatening move. And then casting, broadcasting, you're locked in. Oh, well, thank you, BuzzBob. I'm glad you're enjoying it. If you as a novice ranked player, these casts will definitely help a lot learning the ranked battles. On the moment, shouts of switches and dodges definitely help understanding it. Yes. Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm very pleased that that's helpful. That's one of the aims. Baby Excadrill. Yeah. I know what you mean, Ellie. Joe switching Pokemon just after he moved away. Yeah, getting a Pokemon out of the action and to be able to snipe after. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you've got to, while playing or casting, you've just got to be so locked in the moment, just with your eyes on all of the surrounding action in the Pokemon battle. For those 3 minutes, you can't take your foot off the gas, essentially, and that goes to the casting or the playing. Well, everybody, should we queue up one more cast for today's stream? I plan to do more Pokemon Legends ZA casting, so let me know if that's something that you would want to see. It's certainly something that I am really enjoying doing. Probably will be next, well, yeah, it would be next week at this point. Maybe I'll be able to get a trainer in live to join us on stream as well, so we'll cast over some live battles, and then we'll be able to interview them about how the battles went. So much potential, but for now, let me just hydrate again, and then we'll queue out one more battle from Moxie Boosted. Alrighty. 2 more, 3 more, 10 more. That's certainly how I was feeling playing, Ellie, that it's so easy to just queue up another battle. Do we have one more? Oh, we do. Very good. Looks like Moxie Boosted just has one more battle in their video. Mega Banette hits like a truck. Pokemon Legends ZA rank battles. That's the video that we're watching here, by the way, everybody. And shout out to Moxie Boosted again, and to JoeUX9 for the use of their footage to cast over. Awesome Sea Live battles. Good. Yeah, no, I think it would be a lot of fun as well. Okay, everybody, it's the last cast of today's stream. Let me just refocus to make the most of it. Alrighty. Welcome back, trainers, to the final ZA rank battle tonight. I am Charlie Merriman. I'm Merri by name and Merri by nature. Couldn't be merrier to welcome you to this final battle on stream today. It's going to be Marcos' Screens Metagross team up against the wall. We've got a Xerneas and a Dragonite over on the other side, as well as a Gardevoir. Marcos making a beeline for this Gardevoir here. Unsurprising, the heavy slam, super effective, but Gardevoir is able to set up the Reflect. At least you're able to get some decent chip damage into that slot, but the switch into the Excadrill timed perfectly, so no damage goes into that slot. Metagross able to set up the Reflect here. And we have yet another advert, everybody, that will be over very quickly, it looks like. Oh, well, let's hope it's over quickly. And in fact, why don't we just... This looks like it might be... Oh, actually, I could have just moved the screen all along. Fine. I'm just going to pause, and we'll continue now. Right, so Metagross has these screens up, and here comes the Mega Emboar, the Flare Blitz, super effective. You can see the dividends of Reflect plays. I like how Marcos hasn't set up the light screen yet. You don't need to. You've just got physical attackers on the field right now. Now, X-Scissor from the Excadrill. We don't often see that move, but it's nice coverage because otherwise it struggles against those Grass-type Pokemon. And going to be the switch into the Banette to take advantage of the screens that have been set up here. And here comes Vaporeon bounding after it, setting up the Swords Dance. And now Emboar threatening that big Flare Blitz, but the Banette down to 10 HP. It's going to be enough. The Stone Edge able to claim the KO onto the Banette here anyway, but now the Dragonite goes down as well. Schools on the doors. We've got 2 apiece for the red and the green trainer here. Marcos yet to claim a KO. That's a big shiny Mega Blastoise. Toddling along on the field. Let's see what it's able to achieve. We don't often see it. Here comes a shiny Venusaur as well. The Kanto first partner's having a field day as Metagross is able to set up yet another Reflect. That Mega Blastoise not on the healthiest of HP bars, but Banette is coming in to take advantage of those screens, setting up another Swords Dance here. Time for the Mega Evolution as well. You may as well. You've got the screen set up and you're able to dish out massive damage. That's going to be the Xerneas going for a Thunderbolt. You can see how well the screens pay dividends. Marcos claims a KO here and now making a beeline for a Shadow Sneak onto this Excadrill. That's another KO. Shows just how powerful these quick cooldown moves can be as Metagross attempts a Bullet Punch here. The switch into the Venusaur. Mega Banette behind the screens. Going for the Gunk Shot here. Oh, and the Mega Venusaur is down to very low health indeed, but so is the Banette here. Trying to weave in another Shadow Sneak, and Banette holding on once more. Xerneas comes in instead. All the switches of Mega Metagross rejoins the fray. We got this Dragonite right in front of the Calm Mind boosted Xerneas, but the Moonblast, the dodge, the switch into the Metagross. We've only got 1 minute remaining, trainers. This Blastoise, Xerneas, I think has access to Thunderbolt in this position, so it's going to be super effective damage. Now Metagross switching out, and here comes the Dragonite, and just regular Blastoise once more. The Xerneas, the Mega Excadrill, this Mega Banette really looking to claim a KO here. It's 3 KOs apiece for the blue and the red trainers right now. Make that 4 for Marcos, just weaving in another one here. Now able to set up another Swords Dance with the Mega Banette and unmega evolving in the final 30 seconds, but able to get this Phantom Force off. The Solar Beam not quick enough. That move does take a long time to execute, but not the KO onto the Venusaur either. Attempted the Ice Beam and the Banette is down thanks to that what looked like a Flare Blitz from the Emboar. The Rock Smash coming out from the Emboar here as well. Head Smash coming out from the Emboar here as well. Now the Xerneas targeting down this Vaporeon. Xerneas attempting to get a Thunderbolt down, and it's just going to bring it down to about 1 HP. The Dragon Rush attempted, again, able to just pivot around really quickly and effectively, but that's going to be the end of the game, just in the heat of all of the action. So let's look at how those final scores are looking. Going to be blue and green on 4 points apiece. Marcos tying in the lead with the green trainer there. Well, incredible scenes from everyone there. That was really high octane. A lot of switching all around. And cool to see the Mega Blastoise. Cool to see the Venusaur hit the fray as well. I think it looked like Marcos was, struggling to really get their Banette into a position where it wanted to be. It had the screens and it was trying to get the Shadow Sneaks down. It was trying to get the Phantom Forces down, but just wasn't as easy for Marcos in this battle compared to some of the other battles that we have seen. And I think, Xerneas was having a decent time because there was that Dragonite there on the field, but it's just about getting it set up. And this was a even quicker game than I would say we normally tend to see in Pokémon Legends ZA ranked battles, and it meant that Xerneas, it was hard to get that Geomancy set up, but you could see the dividends that having access to the Thunderbolt move pays, because with Vaporeon, with other Water-type Pokemon, it means that Xerneas has really nice coverage against those Pokemon just in case they do pop up. Mega Emboar I want to give a shout out to as well, because it was really dominating on the battlefield with so much damage that it was able to dish out. And again, Fire types really on the rise, because Steel types are on the rise, because Fairy types are on the rise. And thus the great circle of Pokemon continues, everybody. Huge congratulations to Marco for winning at that final one of the battles that we featured on stream today. And huge shout out to Mega Banette as well, who was really the MVP of this particular team, and really claiming KOs that weren't expected, especially with the Swords Dance moves, and especially with those red power-ups that Marcos was able to pick up along the way. So that's going to be our Pokemon Legends ZA ranked battles. I've been Charlie Merriman, Merri by name, Merri by nature, and I hope those battles made your day merry. And scene. Whew. Certainly was a lot of switching, wasn't it, Tony? I think that's just, yeah. That's just the nature of this particular matchup. There was, no one really wanted to keep the Pokemon in against all the threats that were on the field. Yeah, it's hard to claim an advantage, isn't it? But it's interesting to cast that. You'd love to see the interview after. That's great to hear, Tony, because I plan more content like this, as I say, and you'd love to see the live battles, Ellie. Nice. And welcome in, Shadow, Glimmering Life Sage. Thanks so much for being here. Hello to you as well. Unfortunately, that's going to be the last cast that we do on stream, but you can check out the VOD as soon as this stream ends. Go back and watch it. I think we casted about 12 battles tonight, which was a lot, but a lot of fun. Great to see you in the chat, though. GG indeed. One thing maybe for future casts, also add in the view of the area it is played in. Oh, sure, and how that's going to affect the battle. No, I like that idea, Tony. Yeah, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Amazing to see a draft league go off and to commentate that. Yeah, a draft league in ZA rank battles. That would be really cool. Yeah, draft leagues could work really well because so many more Pokemon are viable here. Love a draft league indeed, Alex. For the stream edge, can you give your thoughts on the new trailer on Pokopia released today? Good question, Tony, and the answer is unfortunately I can't because I haven't seen it. However, I have seen that there's been a new form of Snorlax revealed, a new form of Pikachu revealed, which is very interesting. I don't know how much stock to hold in it as to how that will translate into other Pokemon games, but farming sims and, you know, those kinds of games, they're not so much my cup of tea. I'd be intrigued to see more about Pokopia. Maybe I'll watch the trailer at some point. But don't get me wrong, I'm interested. I'm not going to rush to buy it necessarily, though. I might wait to see what the reviews are like, you know. Anyone else looking forward to Pokopia? And Like and Arts, welcome in. It's been a little while. Thank you so much for being here. Doing very well, thank you. But unfortunately, that's going to be the end of the stream. So make sure you go back and watch the VOD if you want to see some Pokemon Legends ZA casting. I also hope they add more battle arenas. I think it's only 3, Alex, that we have access to. It'd be nice to have a bit more diversity there. I'm glad you're liking the look of Pokopia, Ellie, and Ronnie. You two have a very merry day and evening. Well, everybody. What have we learned? What have we learned? It's been a lot of fun today, and thank you all so much for hanging out. I had a blast commentating Pokemon Legends ZA rank battles, and again, normally in casting it's 2 people, and I realised it's just me tonight. That was partly just a logistics perspective. I really wanted to do some casting, and having to work around someone else's schedule, I just wanted to make sure I got some casting practice locked in, and also I plan to make a video about this. Shout out to Alex Splash, who is looks like they're going to help me with the thumbnail, so thank you so much to you, Alex. Really appreciate the quick turnaround on that one. So yeah, video just with some expanded thoughts about casting in Pokemon Legends ZA, and I'm looking forward to getting that out for you all. I really enjoyed the departure from VGC and going for the more high-octane battles that Pokemon Legends ZA gives us access to. Really useful to keep me on my toes, just 2 different kinds of casting, and seeing what can be brought from one to the other and vice versa in terms of informing each other. And as I say, you just got to be totally in the moment in these Pokemon Legends ZA rank battles. They go by in a flash. And so it's kind of a nice excuse just to let everything else in your brain go and just focus, and that again is something that I'm looking forward to bringing into the VGC casting as well. So thanks so much for hanging out. I would love to hear your feedback, whether it's in the chat or just in a comment or in my Discord community, link below. Please do hop into there. It'd be a pleasure to see you. And please do drop a like on the stream if you enjoyed it. They do go such a long way and much further than they might initially seem. And please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't as well. We recently hit 3,800 subscribers. We are on the road to 4,000. I cannot wait to reach that milestone with you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. I am at Chazingdra across all socials. Everybody, please do follow along. It'll be a pleasure to have your support over there as well. X and Blue Sky and Instagram and TikTok. And of course, as you can see, on YouTube. I won't be streaming tomorrow, everybody. Unfortunately, I have alternative plans tomorrow. Potentially next on Sunday, but it might be on Monday that I'm next streaming. But I look forward to catching you all for another stream very soon, and it will be Pokemon Legends ZA. I don't know what I'll be doing, whether I'll be doing the Diancie side quest, or doing some side missions, doing more casting, doing more ramp battles, doing some shiny hunting. I'm yet to find a single shiny in Pokemon Legends ZA, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the first thing that shines is going to be. Do hop into my Discord community, as I say. Also, my email is linked below if you want to get in touch with me via that way. Check out my podcast, Chazingdra Chats. Nate Wants to Battles episode dropped yesterday, who performed just beyond at the Pokemon World Championships this year, and of course has worked with Beyblade and Sonic the Hedgehog and Dragon Ball Super and many more franchises as well. Make sure you don't miss that chat. I had a fascinating chat. And of course, I've had Austin John Plays on the podcast. I've had Wolf Glick. I've had PM7. I've had M&J TV. There's bound to be an episode for everyone, and there's bound to be if you can think of a Pokemon creator, the chances are they've been on the podcast, but we'll continue, of course, to work through the potential guests that I can have on the show, and I'm excited about. Check out my EUIC video. I commentated the largest Pokemon tournament ever. That dropped on the channel on Friday, giving the tournament from the caster's perspective, how I utilized my drama school training, my warm-up exercises in order to cast. Did a little bit of it in this stream, and you can see a deeper dive in that video, breaking down VGC for all to enjoy and telling the epic tale of the event. Make sure you don't miss that. I've had incredible feedback, really lovely comments on that video, so I really hope you enjoy watching it as well. That being said, everybody, let me just catch up on these messages. So, haven't watched the trailer for the Pokopia yet either, but you think you want to play the game? Yeah, looks like it's going to be fun. Looks like it's going to be fun. See you next time, Jay. Looking forward to it. Not sure you'll play it. Fair enough, Tony. Fair enough. Pokopia isn't your style of game. You don't have enough time to dedicate to the Pokemon games you have without a framing style game. Yes. I know what you mean, Rich, but maybe I'll give it a go. Thoughts on Pokopia? Tell me on the next stream or tell me in the Discord community. Just got a screenshot of the fit. Nice. Thank you very much indeed, Alex. Lovely. Good luck with that thumbnail, and thank you again. Really enjoyed the casting of the ZA battles. Glad to see you're making a video on it too. Wasn't sure if it might be going out with shorts. I imagine both. That's a good point. Yeah, probably some shorts. Yes, that's a good point. I will be getting some short content out for it as well, Rich. Thank you for that idea. And thank you for all of your feedback, by the way, over the stream, everybody, as to how to cast these battles better next time. And again, I'll look into getting a co-caster on at some point, maybe casting live tournaments. The sky is the limit. I'm very excited for it. It was a very good maiden first of the world cast. Yes. Thank you very much indeed, Tony. I'm very pleased. Yeah, I was pleased with how that went. You have a lovely weekend as well, Tony, and you love the Nate Wants to Battle Up. I'm very pleased to have that earlier. I hope you all enjoy watching as well. So, for the final time, everybody, please do like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it. It would mean a huge amount. And you make sure now that you have a very merry rest of your day. Merry by name, merry by nature. See you next week for some more streams, and enjoy the content on the channel in the meantime. See ya.